45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
He's live. He's nationwide on CBS Sports Radio. This is the Zach Gelb Show. Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
Live from the place where you're not overly ostentatious Mandalay Bay Convention Center inside a Radio Row. This is the Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on CBS Sports Radio across all of our great local CBS Sports Radio affiliates, Sirius XM, Channel 158, the free Odyssey app, and of course streaming live on YouTube, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. We have a loaded guest lineup today. Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Luke Kuechly, Joe Montana, Michael Penix Jr., C.J. Stroud, Austin Ekeler, and DJ Moore. But now joining us on behalf of Pepsi, there are good rookie seasons, and then there are just ridiculous rookie seasons. And that is star. And it's tough to be a star in your rookie year, but unexpected star, Puka Nacua of the L.A. Rams, kind enough to join us on the Zach Gelb Show on CBS Sports Radio right out of the gate. Puka, first off, it's an honor to meet you. Thanks so much for doing this, and congrats on all your success.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well. Thanks for having me.
So what you did this year, obviously I couldn't predict it. The rest of the NFL couldn't predict it, because if that was the case, you would have gone a lot earlier in the draft. But when you look back at everything that has transpired, and now the way people talk about you as one of the better wide receivers in the league, just how do you kind of reflect on what this last year has been like?
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been pretty busy since the end of the season. We're going out, went to go visit my brother, played his last high school game, and then was out in Pro Bowl, and then obviously out here in the Super Bowl. So I obviously feel like I haven't reflected too much on what's been able to happen, but I just know it was such a blessing. Just every moment felt like I was in the right place, and that all the balls were on my side of the court, and I was able to do what felt right, and everything seemed to happen how I was supposed to. Even though we didn't win, I'm excited to get back to improve on the things that I know I can improve on, but I would say it was a good start for sure.
Yeah, you could say that. Was this season surprising to you?
It definitely was. I feel like I have a lot of confidence in myself, and I know I've worked hard to be where I am and to earn these opportunities, but I don't think I could have imagined it being this sweet.
So what did you expect, just wondering? Like, I know you have big expectations to be able to do what you did. You have to have confidence, and I don't think confidence should be associated with arrogance. It's just reality. But what did you expect going into this year?
I was expecting just to make the team, to be a special team guy, and just, any opportunity that they were going to give me to try to take advantage of it. I knew I grew up in a physical household with all my brothers and stuff like that, so I knew whether it was going to be on punt or kickoff or whatever, it was like to exert the physical part of my game, because I enjoy that side of football. But when the opportunity came to run routes and then to exert my physical dominance, that's why it was the cherry on top.
What are you able to learn as Puka Nacua is here with us on behalf of Pepsi? Like, Cooper Kupp, he's one of the better wide receivers in the league. I also feel like he could get and should probably get more praise for whatever the reasons are when you make these top 5, top 10 lists. But being in that building with Cooper, I know he dealt with some injuries this year, but what did you kind of just learn from him?
That he's got his routine down, and his level of consistency is going to stay the same. He's the same guy whether he goes out and has 175 yards or he has 25. The ability to stay the same and to do the things that you know work for you, to keep that routine and that consistency is something that, as a young guy, to watch that and how he held himself throughout the whole season was something I was to look up to, and it helped me be able to stabilize and try to find a routine and to not necessarily latch my confidence onto his, but to be like, okay, the guy who's leading our room has his confidence has never wavered, so why should mine?
So now everyone's going to be a Puka Nacua expert, all right? People start reading the articles. They start thinking they know everything about your life. I still feel like there's a lot of your story that probably has been untold. So I'll just simply ask you this. What do you want people to know about Puka Nacua and what it has taken to really get to this point?
My family has been my biggest support. I feel like I always credit Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Coach McVay, and they definitely do deserve all the credit that I've been able to give them. But my brothers have played a big part in my life of being able to compete with them at a very young age, but also to feel like I have my biggest critics and my biggest supporters behind me at all time. They're my big brothers. They never let me forget that they could do what I do better, and that my brother would hit me across the middle and I wouldn't be able to get up and stuff like that. But they were the first people to call me and to say how proud they are when breaking records and winning games. So all five of my brothers, I love those guys to death, and especially my sister as well. So I know I only have one sister, so she gets left behind, but she's just as good as they are.
Well, you have easy smack talk now, and your bigger brothers try to talk down to you. Are you an all-pro?
Yeah.
That's all you got to say. That's after 1 year. That's a pretty good card to be able to play. So naturally, when you have the success that you've had and where you were in the draft, we've even seen it right with Brock Purdy. People are going to say, it's going to end. It can't be replicated. So instead of just replicating it, how do you not only continue it, but make it even better than what we saw this past year?
Yeah, to be able to, I think it was something that I took from Coop as well. Is I saw Cooper playing 100% of snaps in almost every single game that we played in, and that's something that I want to be able to. I feel like I love being a part of the run game, blocking and things like that. So to be able to be out there every single play to give our team the best chance to win is something that I want to be able to do. And then I also was made aware actually this week that I led the league in drops. So I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know I led that category, which is something that I definitely don't want to lead that category again.
Yeah, I think you made up for it. I don't remember too many drops, but hey, the stats are the stats, as Bill Belichick says. Stats are for losers most of the point. Puka Nacua here with us on behalf of Pepsi. We'll talk about them in just a bit. Hey, I say a lot of things on the radio. Some of the things I get right, some of the things I got wrong. I did not believe that this Rams team was going to be a playoff team this year. I just kind of sensed McVay was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Stafford 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Donald as well with the future and their future being speculated, possible retirement. I was just in awe and really bought into you guys in the second half of the season. What kind of are you still building in LA? They won the Super Bowl a few years ago. You got a good mix of youngsters and vets. What do you guys think you're building in LA?
Well, we got something great cooking up over there with Coach McVay at the head of us. My confidence is in another world. I have so much confidence in our guys, and like you said, we got a mixture of young guys. So we got a lot of new energy, and we have the right vets to lead us. So I'm excited. I think the sky's the limit. Just like you said, we had run the Super Bowl a couple years, and we were just a couple plays away from being able to put stuff together in the playoffs this year. So it hurts to lose, but I'm super excited for what we got because we know we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg.
How about what about Stafford? What really stood out to you about the 1 year getting to know Matthew?
From the moment I got invited in OTAs to throw routes, in practice, there's not this.
Oh, so you didn't have a problem connecting with him. I remember that story from his wife, right? That he doesn't know how to talk to these younger players. You would have been one of those younger pain in the asses, you know?
No, 100%. I know that at the beginning that for sure was me, but just us throwing routes and then being able to talk ball, we were able to build a little bit of a relationship and stuff like that. But he takes such pride in being able to throw that ball perfectly every single time, and he can put the ball anywhere on the field. So as a wide receiver, that's the best thing you want to hear as coming from your quarterback. He's like, hey, he knows that as well, so it makes it so fun when we're dialing stuff up, and he makes my job really easy because if I'm rolling and the DB's on my top shoulder, he's going to put it on my back shoulder, and it's going to be in the one spot where he can't get it. So I always trust number 9, and he's one of the best for sure. Sometimes
players, they kind of reflect who their head coach is, and you see some similarities. I'm not even going McVay. I'm going Kalani Sitake. I've had Kalani on a bunch, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, am I talking to Puka Nacua or am I talking to Kalani Sitake? You kind of remind me a lot like Kalani.
I love Kalani. He's the best. I know I need to go back there to BYU and see all the guys, but Coach Kalani, Coach Fest, all the guys over there at BYU. That's so funny. I love that. Coach Kalani and Coach McVay, they both have an extreme amount of energy.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Wrapping up with Puka Nacua, So you were at Washington, then you end up at BYU. How did that make you into the player that you were? Because now we see it all the time, NIL, transfer portal. Guys are at one place and they end up transferring and they go on to have really successful careers.
Yeah, Junior Adams was my receivers coach at the University of Washington, and Chris Peterson was the head coach at that time when I committed.
Sure.
And those were the big reasons I ended up going out there. Coach Adams had actually coached Cooper Kupp, so it was somebody who had put guys into the league and somebody I knew that could help me get to where I wanted to be. And then, but family has always been something big to me. So my grandma was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. That what ended up leading me transferring back to BYU, or transferring home to be closer to my family. And then it was God's plan at that point to be able to be close to my family and to be there with my grandma before she had passed away. Was something I hold very dear to my heart. That time that we got to spend, but. I know my grandma was a big part of everything that's happened in this year as well.
That's a phenomenal answer. Wrapping up with Puka Nacua. Tell me about what you're doing today on behalf of Pepsi.
Yeah, Pepsi. I love me some Pepsi Wild Cherry. That's for dang sure. This is my favorite drink up here. I'm a gamer, so when I sit down and I start to game, this is my drink, my go-to drink.
You getting all jacked up on the Pepsi?
No, a little bit. Now that it's off season, I can enjoy some sugar. I can enjoy some soda now.
That's when the trash talking starts spewing.
Exactly. Coop won't get too mad at me, but we're just gonna be I'm gonna be on Saturday from 2:30 to 4 across from the Horseshoe. We got Sip City Secrets, so we everybody can come out and share your you're gonna write down your secret on some invisible ink, so nobody should be too scared about the secret you're gonna share. Hopefully it's nothing too wild for all the fans, but then when you share your secret, you confess your secret, you'll get a code to win some gear over there by Pepsi. They have a bunch of
serious promotion.
No, I know they got some dope
they ain't
stuff.
Playing around.
Yeah, they got some dope stuff.
What's
I'm
your
super
secret?
Excited.
Has anyone asked you that today?
No, I don't know if my secret is necessarily it's actual secret. Like I told it.
I think you displayed your secret this year in the NFL.
Yeah. Pat McAfee said my secret was dumb, but I was like, I pour my milk before my cereal. I don't know if that's a secret. I know I'm kind of an outsider with that one, but he's like, I don't think that was a good secret. But then he said his secret was you two suck. So I was like, my secret's for sure better.
Wait, so you go milk first, then the cereal?
Yep.
I actually don't think that's a bad combination.
See,
I'm not a big cereal guy, but I've done that before.
See, I was trying to tell him. So when you pour the milk before, that means you get the perfect amount of cereal.
Yeah.
In there. Like there's just the milk to cereal ratio is perfect, because sometimes you eat a bowl of cereal, then you need to pour extra milk in there. But I'm like, now I got extra soggy cereal, but now I never have that when you pour it in first, because you have the perfect amount.
Yeah, I kind of think it's actually a good take. Some people won't. Now we're trying to figure out how real this relationship is between Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I think they're go to see wedding bells. A lot of people eventually do. Do you think they'll eventually get engaged?
I don't know, honestly.
So you're in the maybe category.
I'm in the maybe category, yeah.
Well, anyway, I appreciate you coming on. I'll end you on this. Where do you think you rank, do you feel like you're a top 10 wide receiver right now?
Shoot, I don't know. I know I've been in my first year. I don't know if I would say a top 10. I still got a lot to prove.
I like that answer. Humbled as always. Here he is, Puka Nacua on behalf of Pepsi. Puka, really appreciate it. It's the Zach Gelb Show on Radio Row. We'll come on back after these short messages.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds.
We continue. This is Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on CBS Sports Radio. Now joining us, legendary NFL quarterback. Of course, one day going to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP. And now joining us today on behalf of FedEx, obviously, is Drew Brees. Drew, great to see you. How you been?
Yeah, I've been really well. You?
I've been fantastic. Can't complain. This week's a zoo. It's crazy. We're all getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday. Media night. When you were a player playing in the big game, you know, I was there on Monday. Everything was Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, which I love. I think it's fun, and I think it brings more eyes to football. But what do you remember from your opening night or media night, whatever they called it when you were playing?
We were in Miami. I think we did it during the day. It was great. I mean, it's only gotten crazier, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? It's become more global. This, you know, obviously NFL announces that, you know, Philly's playing in Brazil next year to kick off, you know, their season, and so the game just continues to you know, kind of broaden its reach. You know, we're going to South America. We're playing a bunch of games in Europe. You know, flag football just got announced as an Olympic sport in 28 in LA. So, man, the sport of football is growing, and I think the attention in and around it is growing, which is awesome.
So I got to ask you about Brock Purdy. I hate the conversation the last 2 weeks. I'm so tired of it. System quarterback, franchise quarterback, game manager, good quarterback. Everyone has their opinion. You playing the position at an extremely high level. When you turn on the tape and you watch Brock Purdy, what do you see?
I see a guy that has great command of the offense, has very high intellect. You have to execute that offense with all the shifts, motions, and the timing and rhythm that you have to create as a quarterback. You have to be smart. I see a poise to him. He doesn't seem to be fazed by, pressure situations. I think that goes back to the guy started 47 games in college, right? And he's used to being in situations where, he's the underdog, he's got a chip on his shoulder, and you can tell he plays for a higher calling too, that football's not necessarily his identity, that he's been equipped with an incredible skill set, but he's very faith driven. And I think he feels like this is part of something much greater than just playing a sport. You can tell he has the respect and admiration of his teammates. His team rallies around him. And then there's his skill set, which is, the guy throws with timing and rhythm. You can tell he knows where to go with the ball. I just watch his feet. I watch how he's able to kind of work the pocket, get the ball out of his hands quickly and accurately. And I think the thing that impressed me most last week, maybe something that we hadn't seen or nor did we expect, was his ability to run the football. He's actually a very good athlete. When he took off on those 3 runs in critical situations, that was the defining moment of that game. His ability to make those big plays, keep the chains moving, score points, kind of keep the comeback going. And that just ignited the entire team and the entire stadium. So that just showed me that here's a guy who's multidimensional. He's going outside the system to create what the team needs in order to go win the football game.
I don't know when you watch games, as Drew Brees is here with us on Radio Row on behalf of FedEx. It is the Zach Gelb Show on CBS Sports Radio. Do you see like a little Brock Purdy, like from when you were playing? Does he remind you at all, like about yourself? Are there some quarterbacks that you go, okay, this guy reminds me of the way that I played the game?
Yes. Obviously our stature is very similar. We're both, 6 foot
underdog, right?
And yeah.
Like it seems like from afar, it's like a lazy kind of comparison, but I wonder, since you're the person that people would compare him to.
Yeah. But I'd say we're both athletic guys, but we're conditioned to be, pocket passers, rhythm passers is really what I would call it. And the offenses that we played in were very similar, right? We were a version of the West Coast offense with Sean Payton. That's obviously what they're running with Shanahan. I'd say they've kind of taken it to another level with all their shifts, motions, and all this stuff they do. And they've got some incredible talent, that you're trying to figure out ways to create matchups and get them in space and all that stuff. But that's a lot to handle. It's a lot of responsibility as a quarterback. And I just think he does it with a confidence and a poise that's maybe beyond his years. Let's keep in mind this guy's only a second-year player, right? He's got such a long career ahead of him, and with limited NFL experience thus far. But I do see a ton of similarity just in regards to the timing and rhythm in which we play the game.
When you look at Mahomes, like, I don't even know what there is to say anymore. It's just, you have to continue to appreciate the greatness that he does week in and week out. They were a vulnerable team this year, and still no one was able to take them down in the AFC.
Well, I'd say this, though, there's always a confidence, though, when you have a quarterback like that, where you just say, we always have a chance, And I think just as a team, it maybe takes a little bit of the pressure off you, to say, like, man, guys, we don't have to be perfect. We need to do our job, right? We need to play together. We need to execute the game plan, but we do have this guy who can
bail us
run
out
around and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And like, just his ability to improvise and to buy time, and to, like, at times where you just kind of shake your head and say, I've never seen a guy scramble around like that and then make that throw right at the end of it all.
Yeah.
So it's pretty uncanny.
He's great. We all know that. Hot take of the day, right? Drew Brees here with us. People are already saying he's the greatest quarterback of all time, right? You're in that top 10, top 15 quarterback of all time kind of ranking on a lot of these lists. Is that a little premature to say he's already the greatest quarterback to ever play the game?
Yeah, I think it's look, what he's accomplished in his first, is it 6 seasons?
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable, right?
Yeah, playing.
So 6 conference championship games and 4 Super Bowl appearances, right? That's remarkable. But I think when you're talking about the greatest of all time, you're talking about a body of work, right, that encompasses a full career. And so when you're talking about a guy like Brady, who played 23 years, and then some of us who played 20 years, and Peyton who played 18 years, and I mean, I think you have to see the consistency over a long period of time. See it through multiple generations, so to speak, of teams, right, and coaches. Andy Reid's not going to be there forever. Travis Kelce's not going to be there forever. Over the course of Mahomes' career, if it lasts another 10 years, he's going to basically play on 3 different teams, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? In other words, the way the turnover in this league works is he's going to kind of have his core group, but man, then he's going to have, who knows who the next coach is going to be or how long that's going to. So it's the body of work. It's the consistency over that period of time.
Why did Sean Payton, your former coach, and Russell Wilson just not work this year? Why did they not mesh?
Well, I think we knew that it was going to be obviously a kind of a pivotal moment in that organization. If it is going to work, then we're going to see it, and then it's going to be a kind of a fruitful thing moving forward. And if not, then I think you're going to see a very quick transition, and then we're moving on. You know what I'm saying? But you kind of knew the decision was going to need to be made. I think as I watched the Broncos offense this year, it didn't feel like there was the timing and the rhythm and the tempo that I'm used to seeing in a Sean Payton offense. I know those are the hallmarks of his offense. I know that that's what he preaches and that's what they're striving for. And it didn't feel that way, So obviously the decision was made. It looks like they're parting ways. I think Russell still brings a ton of value in the right place, in the right system. And I'm confident that'll happen for him. And then we'll see what Sean does to go get his guy.
Can Sean adapt to how football is coached in 2024? Because it seems like, I don't know if he's definitely a my way or the highway guy, but you have some of these older football coaches now that you start to see it's a different game. A lot of younger coaches, former players getting hired. Do you think he could still be an extremely successful coach in the year of 2024?
Yeah, I do. He's an incredible communicator and coach, and his messaging is on point. So much like he's a master of understanding human nature. I think a lot of this comes from Bill Parcells, in whom he coached under and learned a lot from. And so his teams are always ready to play. They are always prepared and they are ready to play. You then have the challenge as a coach of taking the skill set of the players you have and then putting everybody in the best position to succeed based on those strengths, right? There's the things that Sean Payton wants to do, and then there's the team that he has or the skill sets that he has, and it's like, okay, how do we plug that into the system, right? Look, everything is constantly evolving. Like, I watch offensive football now, and I'm like, man, this is an unbelievable time to be playing in the NFL
and being a quarterback.
Like, this San Francisco offense is awesome. That my Miami Dolphins offense is awesome. Like, I saw what Buffalo did at the end of the season too with Joe Brady. Detroit, I'm pulling up a lot of these game tape, because I'm still a fan. I have access to the database, and so I'm pulling up the all.
Like, wish I was born 10 years later.
No, I mean, dude, I just love football. I love football. I mean, I'll install it on my 7-on-7 team or
Your
something.
stats are pretty good. I think you're okay.
No, but just point being is it's. Man, the game's constantly evolving. And the stuff that's happening with offensive football right now, it's awesome. Like, it's so much fun to play the quarterback position right now.
Tell me what you got cooking today with FedEx.
Yeah, so FedEx Air and Ground Players of the Year. FedEx has been doing this for a long time. I had the pleasure of winning this award 4 times during my career. FedEx has been an incredible sponsor of the NFL for a long time, doing so many things in the community. And so I am proud to announce the winners this year of the FedEx Air and Ground Players of the Year. FedEx Air is Brock Purdy. FedEx Ground is Christian McCaffrey. So first time in history that it's same teammates. And so maybe that's a little foreshadowing for the game on Sunday. We'll see. But also, as a result of this, FedEx is donating $40,000 to HBCUs in Brock Purdy's name and Christian McCaffrey's name to fund scholarships.
So then who's more valuable to the team? Is it Brock or is it Christian? Because I think it's Christian. No disrespect to Brock. I just think it's Christian.
I mean, look, they both are. I'd argue that Deebo Samuel is kind of the guy who is the X factor, just because he can do so many things. Like, he's a guy who's a matchup nightmare.
Yeah.
You pretty much know where Christian McCaffrey is going to line up. You know where Brock Purdy's going to line up. You got no clue where where Debo's going to line up, and he's a run after the catch guy. You could put him at running back if you want. You can, throw screens to him, or you can launch 60-yard bombs to him. I mean, it's crazy what the guy can do.
All righty, we've been asking this question all throughout the week.
Yeah,
we have to have it. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. Do you think they're ultimately going to get engaged? Only one person said no, and that's Sean Alexander.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of the relationship. But,
so you're in the maybe category. There's a maybe category right here as well.
If that's what they want, I'm hoping for it. Yeah.
He is Drew Brees. Drew, always great to see you. Thanks so much for doing this.
You got it. No problem.
Appreciate it. All right. Thank you. 58 on Westwood One is streaming for free, sponsored by AutoZone on Super Bowl Sunday. Hear every minute of Westwood One's broadcast live on the NFL app by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports or on the Westwood One affiliate stations, digital platforms, and get in the zone with AutoZone. AutoZone's free battery testing and charging is available for free at your local AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply. Zach Gelb here with you on CBS Sports Radio. I'm going to reveal something on the air right now. It is, 3:29 p.m. Eastern, 12:29 p.m. Pacific. I have not had a bite of food today. And the reason why is I ate like a pig last night. We got the best service ever at Piero's off the Strip in Las Vegas. It was amazing. The amount of Italian that we had last night was just stupid. And I mean that in a good way. And I've never seen Samter drink and eat so much in his life. Well, they started off with, the meatballs and the ricotta cheese. You also had the garbage Caesar salad as well, which was phenomenal. They had some sushi dish too. What else did we have?
We had the crab claws.
Oh yeah, the stone crab.
The shrimp cocktail with the spicy
jumbo shrimp cocktail.
The horseradish cocktail sauce. And the crazy thing was they were telling us a story about how somebody said they can eat 70-something shrimp.
Yeah, no shot. I had
so
two I was stuffed.
They brought out the large jumbo shrimp, and the guy who said he could do 70 had 28. They said it was the grossest thing they've ever seen in their lives. But that sounds awesome to me.
And then I had some of the best veal parm I've ever had. You had what for your main course? Because Samter had to send the drink back because he was a little snobby last night.
You're the second person who said that. I didn't send a drink back. I got a drink that it wasn't my favorite drink. It wasn't my favorite scotch. I took a sip. I'm like, this isn't my favorite. I didn't complain. I just made a face. And then everyone else, when the waiter came by, was like, oh, he doesn't like it. Take it away. I never said anything.
We did bully Samter a little bit last night.
I never did anything. I said, don't worry about it. It's good. I'm fine. I enjoy it well enough. Don't take it away. But whatever. So I'm not taking the hit on that one.
So what was your main course?
I had the soul chicken, the soul piccata. So it was like a white wine lemon butter sauce.
A little bolognese sauce.
Yeah. No.
No, on the side. There was bolognese pasta.
There was a bolognese pasta. Had some linguine with the lemon sauce. It was fantastic. And then canola. Oh, we'll get to dessert.
Cannolis. What was the cake?
We had a carrot cake.
They had a creme brulee.
With a Nutella underneath. Oh.
Which that was maybe the craziest thing I've ever devoured.
Yeah, man.
But that was wild. What a night it was, and appreciate Sully and his crew for making that possible. All righty, this is Zach Gelb Show on CBS Sports Radio. I have agreed to do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, as it's the 10-year anniversary of the Ice Bucket Challenge, with Matt Ryan, former NFL MVP, now superstar CBS Sports analyst. Matt Ryan's going to join us on the set when we come on back from the commercial break, and I'm very curious to see how the Ice Bucket Challenge goes down. Sources tell me the engineer staff with all the wires around here, they're a little nervous, but we'll see what happens. Frank is having his hands shake right now, and I'm a little bit concerned when I'm looking over to my right, and you got they got kiddie pools. I'm stepping in a kiddie pool. There's going to be a tarp, and we're getting big buckets of water dumped on us. Man, and they pay me to do this? This is what I agreed to do? Oh, yeah. Matt Ryan joins us next on CBS Sports Radio. It is the Zach Gelb Show. Let's toss it back to New York City. Here's the latest CBS Sports Radio update with the Act Man, Rich Ackerman.
Sports Flash.
And it's sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive nearly $750 on average. Call or click today to find out if they can save you hundreds on your car insurance. Travis Kelce has it all right now. He's a future Hall of Famer, a champion, and dating the world's biggest pop star, and said he owes it all to head coach Andy Reid.
This has been a constant incline of greatness. Him overlooking my career, helping me out both on and off the field as a professional, as a human being, and I owe so much to him and his success and our success, and just extremely fortunate that I landed here in Kansas City.
The NBA trade deadline has passed. Several teams made deals for the stretch. The Sixers picked up Buddy Hield from Indiana and also sent Patrick Beverley to the Bucks in exchange for Hield. They send Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, and 3 second-round picks to Indy. The Knicks also picking up some offensive firepower, acquiring Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic from Detroit for Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, Malachi Flynn, Ryan Arcidiacono, and 2 second-round picks. The Hornets sent veteran Gordon Hayward to Oklahoma City, and also P.J. Washington to Dallas. I'm Rich Ackerman.
Hey, this is JR. Let's hang out weeknights here on CBS Sports Radio for my show, The JR Sport Brief, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Now back to the Zach Gelb Show.
All righty, this is Zach Gelb Show on CBS Sports Radio. This portion of the show is sponsored by the new Hyundai Tucson, available with complimentary class-leading Blue Link Plus. Now it's easy to use your phone to control your Tucson. And now joining us, man, I think there's only one person I would do this for, and he is the former NFL MVP, Matt Ryan. And the only reason why I would end up doing this for Matt Ryan is because I know his favorite cheesesteak spot is D'Alessandro's. But
solid spot.
What we're gonna do now, we're gonna talk obviously some football, and Matt is here on behalf of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which it's crazy that this challenge has been going on for 10 years, and it just speaks to the power of the challenge and what the causes of this challenge. And I got an email from my producer this week, Michael Samter, and he goes, do you want to do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge with Matt Ryan? And I go, okay, like where? He goes, on Radio Row. I go, if you could set it up, I'll do it, and here we are, Matt.
Yeah, so, well, I appreciate you doing it with me, and appreciate you having me on to talk about, the Ice Bucket Challenge. And I can't believe it's been 10 years, right? That thing blew up 10 years ago for a great reason, because, it's a disease that, if you've ever been personally impacted by it, is rough. And I was, a good friend of mine was Pete Frates from Boston College, who was instrumental in getting it going. And Pete unfortunately passed away, but he was so brave during that fight with it to create awareness for it. And so here we are trying to, make some noise for it and try and keep people going, keep people committed to what they're doing. And so for me, as we get Josh Allen coming to say what's up. But,
Deion Dawkins protects that man pretty damn good.
But so anyhow, it's great to be able to promote it and to try and encourage people, if there's a way that they can help raise money for this. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep the momentum that started 10 years ago going, so we can find a cure for this disease.
Yeah, I remember doing the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, and I want to say it was 2014, right? Yeah. 10 years makes sense, right around then. And to see that this continues to go, and to just honor Pete's legacy, and continue to remember everything about Pete. Obviously, you knew him well. I hear all the best stories about him. Unfortunately, I never got to meet him. But just tell me a little bit more about your friend.
Yeah, he was one of the first guys I met when I was at Boston College. We were actually in orientation, freshman orientation. We were kind of in the same dorm, and so like one of the first 5 guys I met when I got there, and just salt of the earth guy, and fun. He was one of the people that made everybody feel like he was your best friend, like you'd known him forever. He just had an easy way about him. Cool guy, great baseball player, fun to be around and fun to hang out with, and just a good all-around dude.
Talking to Matt Ryan right now. We'll get back, obviously, to the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge in a bit, as we're going to be doing this live on CBS Sports Radio. If you want to watch along, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Let me chat to you a little bit about the Atlanta Falcons. I thought Belichick was going to be their head coach. It ends up being Raheem Morris. How did you kind of process that one when that was announced the other week?
I like Raheem. He was with me in Atlanta for 6 years, and I saw him in all kinds of different stages, right? I saw him as he came in on the defensive side of the ball, then switched over, coached wide receivers for us for a bit, and then went back to the defensive side of the ball, calling plays on that side, and then ultimately interim head coach, and then leaves and goes to the Rams for the last 3 years and does a great job there. And really, he took a young group of defenders on that Rams defense and turned them into a pretty good unit, and I was impressed by that. But I like the hire. He understands the organization. He understands how it works. He's walking into a team that's built to win, but they need to get the quarterback position right. Yeah. I think he'll do that. They'll get somebody to solidify the position moving forward, and I expect them to do well.
So when the speculation was Belichick, it ends up being Raheem. There's a reaction to that. But for you, if it was going to be Belichick, how would you have kind of approached that one?
Well, I said it, was doing one of the pregame shows for CBS in the wild card round, and that was kind of the height of the talk and all this. I said, the thing that would have made sense to me for Bill Belichick is if you were going out and getting a veteran quarterback, maybe it's like Kirk Cousins, or you're going to make a play for whoever, to get somebody that's established, right? Because I thought the window was maybe 3 or 4 years. I don't think Bill would have been coaching there, at least in my opinion, for 10, 12 years. But if you wanted to go the young direction and try and solidify, that organization moving forward and get a young quarterback, I think you needed to go in a different direction. And ultimately, I think that's what they've decided. See what happens. I could be dead wrong. This is just speculation on my part, but we'll see what happens with them in the draft here in a couple of months.
So I've talked about you a lot throughout this season because one of our coworkers is Tiki Barber, who you obviously call games with, and I'm a big fan of Andrew Catalon. But seeing Tiki every day in the office, I feel like whenever a quarterback would go down, and unfortunately there was a lot of them, I go, is your broadcast partner going to be your broadcast partner on Sunday? And every time he goes, I think Matt's just done playing. I think he really enjoys the broadcasting. Yeah. So if you didn't, I don't know how many calls you got this year. I'm sure there were quite a few. But if you didn't come back this year, you're officially done? It's over? There's no more coming back to the league?
Yeah. Well, I'm comfortable with what I'm doing right now. I've really enjoyed, working with Tiki. I mean, he's great. He's a great dude to be around. I think that was part of it too, right? Like, I didn't know at the beginning of last season what it was going to be like. Maybe I was no good. Maybe it wasn't going to be fun calling these games or anything. But I think working with Catalan, working with Tiki Barber, AJ Ross on the sideline for us, and then really our director and producer Steve McKee and our director Andy Goldberg were fantastic. And so as the season shook on and these spots opened up, I was like, I'm kind of having fun doing what I'm doing. Things are good at home. Like, it just made sense to continue on. So I think it's pretty safe to say I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing.
Gotcha. Matt Ryan here with us, and that's good for us here at CBS because, you never know how – I think people try to complicate broadcasting too much. They're like, oh, he doesn't have broadcasting experience, and now he's going from the gridiron to a great broadcast with him. Like, so what? If he's good, he's good, and you guys have a good booth. But how do you kind of think it all played out this past year?
I thought it got better as the year went on, as it should, right? I thought our chemistry got better, all of those things. But Tiki and I and Andrew would talk all the time. Is we wanted to feel like it was 3 guys sitting at a bar watching a game.
That's how it should be.
And the 4th guy at the bar is the audience. And so have fun. Maybe I explain one of these things here. Tiki gives his lens on a run play or whatever there. Andrew kind of guides the conversation, and I thought we did a pretty good job of that, and improved on, like, the hard part for me was telestrating and doing the replays and stuff like that, getting that going. But
you got better. You got to be careful when you're 100%. Drawing. We always know what people are looking for on social media.
I understand. I worked hard to not draw anything. So it was. I thought we had fun, and I thought we covered games in a really good way, and hopefully, we all just continue to get better.
We're going to be doing the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge with Matt Ryan momentarily live on the Zach Gelb Show on CBS Sports Radio. From a quarterback perspective, I've said this 9,000 times today, so make it 9,001. I'm sick of the way that people are talking about Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, before the season I said I think he's a system quarterback.
Yeah.
But as the season goes on and he keeps on winning, I don't care how people refer to him. You win, you're eventually a Super Bowl champion. It doesn't matter.
I agree with you. I think that, he had a great first year. Fair to ask the question, can he continue to do that? Well, he did. He continued to do it all of his second year, and in fact made plays in the second half of playoff games to keep them going. Yeah. To me, it's like, okay, he's a legitimate starting quarterback in this league, and he's a guy that's good enough to beat you any week he's on the field. What else do you want? I mean, that's to me enough. It's good enough, and I don't think he's even scratching the surface of, what he can be. I think he'll continue to get better, more comfortable, better vision, like a better understanding of defenses. All of these things come with experience. I think he's going to continue to improve as a player, and his skill set is by far good enough to win in this league.
Matt Ryan here with us. If Kyle Shanahan is hoisting that Lombardi on Sunday, and you guys have obviously been through a lot, what would that moment mean to you?
I'd be happy for a friend, and a guy that, when you're in the building with somebody every day and you're working with them and you see how important it is to them, you see how hard they work, what they're willing to do to be successful, you root for guys like that, and that's Kyle Shanahan. It's incredibly important to him. He's dedicated to what he's done. He's done a great job in San Francisco, and at some point he's going to win a Super Bowl. I truly believe that, and I'm going to be really happy for him when he does.
What do you think the biggest X factor is in this game?
I think, to me, it's the offensive line play for both teams.
Yeah.
As unsexy as that is,
I'm a big fella. I like when we praise up the hog mollies.
And to me, like, you look at how you win football games, how you kind of take over games.
Yeah.
It's pounding, and it's protecting your quarterback. It's being able to run the football. I think both teams want to do that. The team that does it better, to me, is the team that's going to win.
All righty. So this isn't TV, even though we're streaming.
Yeah.
The radio product is the main focus. So we got to make sure there's no dead air. We're going to do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge and the 10-year anniversary of the challenge right now. So I'm following my quarterback. Today I'm not the quarterback.
Okay.
And you're not the quarterback either right now. It's Michael Samter. So Samter, you direct us. You tell us what you want us to do so we can get this thing rocking and rolling here on Radio Row. Where are we going?
All right, so you guys are going to come follow me over here to these buckets.
Okay.
We're going to move the camera. I'll give you the mic. I'll hold the mic for you, Zach.
Okay.
And we'll just have some fun.
Are you nervous, by the way?
Nervous?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
All right,
I'm
let's
good. I'm
do
excited.
it. I need a good pregame speech.
Are you nervous?
I already agreed to this. I don't get nervous.
We got to do it. One way or
I need
the other,
a
we're
good
doing
pregame
it.
speech coming up
All right,
momentarily.
here we go.
So here we go, Sam. You may want to keep on talking so we can end up.
All right, well, here we go. They are moving on over, ladies and gentlemen. We are switching up the camera. Here we are. Hold on, everybody here. All right, as you can see, we have them all set up in their ice buckets. There are buckets right in front of them. They're in little mini kiddie pools, which is absolutely fantastic. All right. All right, here we go.
The other night. I was with Bradford the other night.
Oh, that's Chris Long. Anyway, so we're about to do this. I need a quick pregame speech before we do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. What do we got cooking still?
My pregame speech is just don't overthink it. Dump it on you. It's not going to be too bad. I mean, it's going to suck a little bit, but you'll be all right afterwards. The other thing I'm saying is I'm challenging Tiki.
Oh, he's calling out Tiki.
Deal, right? We've been talking about Tiki Barber all day. That's our guy. Tiki's got to do it too, man. He's a good guy. He supports good causes, but I'm going to need to see him in the ice.
All right, here we go. Clear eyes, full hearts. Can't lose. Let's go, Matt. Let me take the microphone. Ready? One, two, three.
Woo! That's not bad. Not bad.
There we go.
Wow, that is a pretty look.
Now, just real quickly before we let you run, post-game thoughts. I think that's maybe the greatest accomplishment of your career. Like MVP, get into a Super Bowl.
The last time I did this, I got to be honest, was after a training camp practice. So I was like hot and sweaty, tired. It actually felt good. That was a little colder than the last time I did it. So it's for a good cause. Support ALS research, and let's find a cure for this disease.
Let's be real. Let's thank God that the Super Bowl is not in Minnesota this year, because I think we would have just had hypothermia in this moment.
Let's get some towels, bro.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're the best. He is Matt Ryan. It is the Zach Gelb Show on CBS Sports Radio. I have to kill a minute here, so I have to just talk for a minute. All righty. All right, so Tiki's like bougie when he's in the broadcasting booth. He probably has all of his snacks. What does Matt Ryan bring into the booth just to snack on a football Sunday?
I'm simple. I'm water or a coffee, first half. Whatever they have laid out in there for the little spread at lunch, I'll grab something, and then a water in the second half. I'll have a little coffee in the first, but I don't really snack during during the broadcast, but I'll eat whatever they got. I'm not picky.
So this is for a great cause. I'm actually thrilled that this went down so effortlessly. The engineering guys are all freaking out. My bosses are calling me, don't get us fired or anything like that. Don't get us kicked out of here. But this was awesome. Matt, I think we got what? How much time do I have here? 30 seconds left? So just give me an official prediction on the game, or say one more thing about Pete if you want.
Yeah, well, Pete was the best. There's no doubt about it. Proud to at least try and help continue what he started and hopefully find a cure for this. But my call is the Chiefs. Hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Thanks so much. He's Matt Ryan. Zach Gelb here with you on CBS.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
He's live. He's nationwide on CBS Sports Radio. This is the Zach Gelb Show.
I'm like a big, fat, wet New York City subway rat. That's how I feel right now. If you're just getting into your car and you're just tuning into us, you're probably like, what the heck is wrong with this guy? If you're watching us on youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio, you're probably saying the same thing. I am soaking wet right now. I have the towel over my head. I look like I just participated in either a swim meet or a boxing match. But I'm soaked after we just did the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, obviously with Matt Ryan. Appreciate Matt doing that with us. Definitely a whole lot of fun. Luke Kuechly is here with us now, joining us live on set. We'll talk about Q-Collar in just a second. If you're thinking why I'm like crazy looking right now with a towel over my head.
Did some water dumped on you or what?
I did, yeah. The ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, 10-year anniversary with Matt Ryan. So I've been a big fan of yours, but then I've heard you on the radio a bunch. So I do a weekly on one of our affiliates, WFNZ, with Mac and Bones.
Yes,
so
they're the best. I love those guys.
They're so fun. They're exciting. They're entertaining.
They have fun. They enjoy it. They make it fun to listen to.
Yeah, because the Panthers haven't, as you know, they haven't won that many games, so it gets tough when you're dealing with a losing team. But man, I'm so fired up to have you on the show and appreciate you doing this. You look back at it, right? A few years removed from your playing career, you're now here on Radio Row. I know you had like a little dabble in like the coaching world for a bit when Matt was there, but. Kind of where are you at as you try to kind of find this next chapter post-football?
And I think that's the biggest thing is you're trying to find it. So I'm exploring a lot of different options, but what I really enjoy, I love the game of football, and I've been coaching little kid football with Greg Olson. We have so much fun with it. So I do that during the fall. I do the radio with the Panthers. Like I said, I'm doing some stuff with Q30. So I'm staying busy. I'm trying to find a way to stay around the game and share a game with people that I love.
So David Wright once told me that he was coaching his girls softball team.
Yeah.
It was like T-ball though version of softball, and one of the other dads is coaching and didn't know who David Wright was. Great baseball player. And the other coach goes, I know a thing or two about this game. Let me show you how to do this. And then eventually someone told him it's David Wright. I think everyone, right, probably where you're coaching knows who you are and who Greg Olson is. But have you had any of those situations?
No, we're good. And the one guy that makes it happen is his dad. His dad, Chris Olson, was a longtime coach in Jersey, a head coach, and won a ton of state championships. And he's our offensive coordinator. And man, it is so fun to be around those guys and the passion and the energy. We spend so much time trying to figure out ways to win games and set up practice and get ready for it. It's a blast, and we're looking forward to do it again this year. So I think we're all super, super fortunate to have the opportunity to coach these kids and hope they're having a good time as well.
I think there's a new wave of football coaches. Like you look around the league, D'Amico Ryans, Dan Campbell, Antonio Pierce, just guys that are not that far away from playing. They're player coaches, but sometimes when you say the word player coach or the words players coach, it's like, oh, does he really have the respect of the locker room? But none of those guys are doormats, and the players all go to bat for them. Is this something? Because you were a great leader when you were playing, great teammate, right? Everyone liked Luke Kuechly. Is this something now, getting a little taste of it, that maybe one day you want to be an NFL head coach?
I think that coaching would be a ton of fun, just to have the ability to. I had so many people that helped me when I was playing, whether it was players, whether it was coaches, whether it was strength staff, equipment guys, trainers. I had a ton of help, and I think that's the one thing that's cool about coaching is the opportunity to give back and help guys and give guys the opportunity to try to succeed. So I'm very happy right now with what I'm doing with the youth football side. It's a ton of fun. I'm still connected with the team in some areas, and I love the game, and coaching I think would be a lot of fun. I'm just not at the point right now where I'm ready to do that.
Gotcha. Luke Kuechly here with us. Let's talk a little bit about the Panthers. We know this year, unfortunately, was a disaster. Bryce Young, everyone's going to call him a bust right now. I still think that's too early. They got to put him in a better situation, and there's things obviously that he needs to improve on better, but give me kind of your bird's eye view of everything going on with Bryce Young.
Yeah, well, there's just a lot of turnover last year. You know, you come in as a rookie quarterback, you got a couple different guys calling plays. Obviously, Coach Reich, we moved on from him early in the season. He was fantastic, a great dude. We're trying to find ways to win games, but you know, Bryce had some moments where I was like, man, this guy's the real deal. But the one thing that I think he did that I was really just happy about was his toughness. And I think that he's got a great mind for the game. He's super accurate. His ability to process is off the charts. But the one thing that I think everybody talked a lot about when he was coming out was, hey, how is his size going to affect his game? And his toughness and his resilience and his ability to get hit and get back up and go back out there was special. So Bryce is going to get better. We're going to get better. I'm excited about what we're doing moving forward. We've got a really good common direction. You know, Dan and Dave, I think, are going to be fantastic for us, and they're going to be really good for Bryce. But, man, Bryce is going to get better this offseason. He's a great dude, never complains, and he got up. He kept getting up. He kept going back out there. He never blamed anybody, and I think this is going to be a really good year for him.
Talking to Luke Kuechly, I'm unsure what the Panthers are going to be moving forward because I just don't trust David Tepper. You know David probably a lot better than I do, but you just hear so many things about him. Kind of what's your relationship like with the newer still owner of the Carolina Panthers, David Tepper?
Super competitive, wants to win. So he's going to do everything he can to help us win, and all the decisions that he's made is for us to go out and win. So we haven't found the magic bullet yet, but he's one of those guys. He's been super successful, and there's a reason for it. It's because he's competitive, he's tough, he's smart, and he's going to do everything he can to help us go out and win football games. And it's just a matter of time before we're going to do that.
I get it. It's his team. He could run the team the way that he wants, but it seems like he interferes too much. You think he has to kind of find that balance on when to still give his opinion, but then also let the football people make the football decisions?
And I think some of it is, you know, people jump on that train, and I think there's some of it that probably gets a little bit blown out of proportion a little bit, and curiosity by him and asking questions isn't a bad thing. And for him, I think he loves the game. He wants us to succeed. He wants to know what's going on, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So he's hired some really good people. I think we've done a good job in the front office. They did a good job of hiring people, Dan and Tillis, and obviously Dave Canales, and I'm excited for everything. So
yeah, I'll tell you, as Luke Kuechly is here with us, with Dave Canales, you know, what he did in Seattle with Geno and what he's done this year with Baker, it is a hire that I'm not going to tell you that I think it's a slam dunk great hire. I don't think you could also say it's a horrible hire. It is one that it draws great curiosity, and you kind of just hear him speak in the introductory press conference. Seems like a very easy guy for players to relate to and an easy guy to kind of root for.
Well, I think one thing you kind of look at is, you know, obviously what is the reaction from guys that he's been around, right? So Geno came out and sent a text out or a tweet out like, hey, this guy's a stud. Right, all the guys in Tampa that I've talked to, quite a few guys just running around here. I'm like, hey, what's the deal with Canales? And all very positive things, and not just positive as a coach, but positive as a person. And I think that's half the battle, man. Football is all about relationships, treating people, getting people to kind of move towards a common goal, being able to motivate people, understanding when a guy's having a bad day, why is he having a bad day? And that all comes down to relationships. And everything that I've talked to and all the guys that I've talked to say, hey, he's a great coach. He does this. He does that. He's going to do everything he can to make sure guys are in the best position. That's great. But I think what really separates him from what I've talked about with these guys is his ability to connect with the player. I got to be able, as a head coach, to walk in and talk to all 53 guys on the team, the coaches, the players, the equipment guys, the training staff, the weight staff, the practice squad guys, and all be on the same page.
Yeah.
And to have a good person and have somebody that can just relate to people and form relationships, I think is a very positive thing.
You'll be an NFL head coach when you want to be an NFL head
we'll
coach.
See.
No, I'm saying, I feel like not that just an interview, you know, makes someone an NFL head coach, but just knowing what you were like as a player and then hearing you now, it definitely seems like something I would not be surprised. It's the personal part of it because, look, you put your body on the line, right? Your injury history is well documented, and you've made a lot of money. You had a great career. Everyone associates Luke Kuechly with greatness. It's just, do you want to sacrifice the family stuff because it's very demanding?
And I love the game of football. It's been so good. Think about everyone in here right now is football's been very good to them. That's the reason why we're here, and I understand that. And I love the game, and I love talking about it. I love being around it, and it's just fun to be here. So I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. All right. Tell me what you're doing today with Q-Collar.
Oh, so Q-Collar. So I wore it for 3 years when I was playing. A lot of the research was done in Cincinnati. We just got FDA approval prior to last season. Yeah. And what we're trying to do is help mitigate subconcussive blows. So we're trying to.
Drew Tranquil, I know, uses this.
Yeah, Drew wears one. Tony Pollard wears one. We've got a bunch of dudes wearing them, and we're trying to help guys play as long as they want to and not have this be the reason why they can't play anymore. So super simple, a little bit of jugular vein compression, trying to help guys play longer and mitigate subconcussive blows. So it's been a ton of fun. I've known these guys since 2017, and they're trying to help guys play longer.
When you look at the game, I know that obviously you're very close with Christian McCaffrey, but from a whole, what stands out to you from the football side of it with this one on Sunday?
I just, you look at Mahomes, right, and everything that he's been able to do. I think he's a winner, man. The guy wins, and it's hard to root against him. And when he's on the field, you got a chance to win. And I think it's the marriage between him and Andy Reid is special. I think Travis Kelce he's just really good.
Yeah,
he's really good. Pacheco can run the rock, and it's got a little bit different feel than what they've been in the past. Obviously, Pacheco was there last year, but he's so physical. It opens everything up. They can lean on that a little bit. Obviously, I'm a Niners guy, right? Wilkes is there, Christian's there. I played against Kyle Shanahan since my rookie year when he was in Washington, and I love how they play football. Shifts, motions, getting guys moving, putting your eyes in weird spots. I love them. I think their skill positions are good, and they're a very, sorry to cut you off, but they're a very interesting example of rookie quarterback on a rookie deal. Ayuk, Kittle, Debo, Christian, Trent Williams. On the offensive side of the ball, they're special, and Brock Purdy, man, that dude's fun to watch. All he does is win games. Yeah,
and that's the thing with Brock. Don't get me wrong. Before the year, I've said this now every segment that we do because it's inevitable that it comes up with Brock. Before the year, I said system quarterback. I don't care what people say anymore. The dude just wins, and as a football player, that's all you want to do. So who cares what people say about it?
You can call him whatever you want, but you go out there and the dude...
He wins a Super Bowl. That's all that matters.
The dude wins football games. Yeah. He's been in the league for 2 years. They've been in the NFC Championship game twice and the Super Bowl once. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know what else. He's in his second year.
Yeah, and only his first full season as a starter.
And you can say what you want about, he's got dudes around him. Yeah, he's got dudes around him. Yeah, he's got a great coach. But it's not his fault.
Here's a hot take. You need guys around you to win football games.
Yeah, and
you can't just win on your own.
And I think, he can sling it around. He's got great guys around him, but what he does a really good job of is his command for the offense. And I was talking to somebody maybe last week. There was a play in that Green Bay Packers game. It was the big McCaffrey run. It was like a 45-yard touchdown run right up the middle. It was kind of boring-looking play. But they were in like an I formation. Tight end was off the ball. There was a motion that was supposed to happen, and it was going to be a typical Kyle Shanahan motion across, motion back, just get kind of guys' eyes looking, moving a little bit. But the guy went in motion, and Brock stopped him. He said, go stand right there, and then he snapped the ball. Basically what I'm getting at is if he comes across the formation and returns, either it's a delay game or a timeout, and that ball never gets snapped. He holds him there. The plays still run that exact same way. He knows that, and he said, I just need to get the ball to 23, and 23 is going to take care of business. So he gets the game of football.
Yeah, so this is going to sound cliche, but defense wins championships. I remember a few years ago, Patriots and Eagles Super Bowl, as high scoring as it was, the biggest play of the game was the Brandon Graham strip sack.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this game's going to be as high scoring, but I do feel like the Niners defense the last 2 weeks has not played great. The Chiefs defense, I've been in on them since week 3. I know it's simple, but it's whatever defense in the fourth quarter is going to be able to create a turnover, I think, wins this game.
Create turnovers and get off the field on third down. I mean, you look with Mahomes, his ability to extend on third down. How well can we keep him in the pocket, make him throw from the pocket, and then those dudes in San Francisco that they're paying a ton of money up front got to get there. Got to get there, man. With 4, if they can get there with 4, I think they got a really good shot.
You're taking the Niners, right?
Man, I'm pulling for the Niners. All my boys are there. Like I said, I love how Shanahan does things on the offense side of the ball, but Wilkes has had a really good impact on my career, obviously, when he was in Carolina, and then Christian he's just special, so I'm going to root for those guys.
So, Cam, He's never going to play again, right?
He's over there. Did you see him?
He's doing his podcast,
he
right?
He just picked me up, and I swear he's going to.
He is enormous.
He almost broke me, and I'm like, Cam, man, like, stop, dude. You're gonna break my ribs, and I was like, bud, stop. But I love Cam, man.
Do you think he still wants to play? Everyone wants to play. You think he still can play?
Cam, look at him. I think he just look at him. How he's just. We were so lucky to have Cam. And everything that he did to affect our team was so fun, man. His energy, his passion, his competitiveness, how much fun he had playing the game. And you watch him on Sundays, man, and he's like an action figure.
Yeah.
Slinging it around, running dudes over, smiling at people. I think when you watch Cam, the one thing that my dad would always say is, he's always smiling. He's like stiff-arming a dude in the face. He's smiling. He's jumping over people into the end zone. He's smiling. He's scoring touchdowns. He's smiling.
Giving the football to children.
He's getting sacked.
Yeah.
He's smiling. He's just, man, anybody that played with Cam, when you bring his name up, they smile. And I love the guy. He's one of a kind, man.
Yeah.
He's one of a kind.
Awesome. Well, Luke Kuechly,
nice
thanks so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on. And it's Zach Gelb Show on CBS Sports Radio. I got to change now during the break. I'm like soaking
you're
wet
good,
here.
man. You're good.
So we'll take a timeout. We'll come on back after these short messages.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Now back to the Zach Gelb Show.
Alrighty, this is Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on CBS Sports Radio. I'm still soaked from the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge that we did. Michael Penix Jr. probably thinks I'm like a crazy person as I'm like soaked from head to toe. I got a towel on me right now. So what a way to finally meet Michael Penix Jr., who I've been a big fan of the last 2 years and what he's been able to do at Washington. You know, a lot of people know I picked Washington to win the Pac-12 this past year, and he's joining us as he gets ready for his next chapter, and that's to be a pro quarterback, and he's here today on behalf of Star, and he joins us right now on the show. Mike, great to see you. How are you?
Yes, sir. Good to see you. I'm doing good. How about you?
Well, I'm doing fantastic. So you look back at this year. You know, I thought you guys could win the Pac-12. I didn't expect you guys to be in the national championship game before the start of the season. To see the way that it came together the last 2 years when you transferred over from Indiana to Washington, and now that chapter's over, just how do you kind of reflect on it?
Man, it's been amazing. You know, it took a lot of hard work and dedication. You know, there's a lot of people that was counting us out. You know, even towards the end of the season, we were still undefeated. You know, a lot of people didn't expect us to do what we did this past year. You know, but it's been great. You know, the journey has been fun, and that team has battled through so much adversity. You know, I knew that, you know, everything that we got, we deserved.
I said this to Roma Dunze yesterday. It made me so annoyed going into that Texas game. And I know you guys can't focus on the gambling lines, right? But how you guys were an underdog after we just saw the week before or a few weeks before in the Pac-12 championship game, everyone was picking Oregon. They made them a 9.5-point favorite.
Right.
I never got why people were trying all throughout the year to just take away and discount your team and not just give them the praise that they were deserving.
Yeah, I don't know where they come from, you know, but obviously that's stuff we can't control. I mean, we do see it, you know, we use it as motivation. You know, we it's not necessarily we want to prove other people wrong, but we want to prove ourselves right. You know, since day one, you know, before this past season, I said that I wanted to win a national championship.
Yeah.
You know, we fell just short, you know, but we made it. We had the appearance and we had an opportunity to do it. And nobody seen us there. You know, nobody saw us there at that point in the time whenever I said that. You know, some people might have laughed whenever I said it, you know, but for us to, you know, overcome a lot of hardship and, you know, adversity that we faced throughout the season, to be able to get to that point, you know, it just speaks volumes for our team.
Now you have Kalen DeBoer leaving Washington, and he's the new head football coach at Alabama. I've been a big believer in Kalen DeBoer, but what are Crimson Tide fans getting, and how do you kind of think he's going to do?
Man, you're going to get a winner. You know, that's number one. You know, you're going to get a winner. I mean, and obviously at Alabama, they love to win. You know, they've been winning for a long time. And Coach DeBoer, everywhere he's been, he's won. You know, he's won championships at different levels. And, man, he's going to continue to do it. You know, he's going to continue to win. His record speaks for itself. And, man, he's just a humble guy and a guy that's going to work for everything that he deserved and that he got.
Was that kind of a crazy process how that all did go down, where you guys are in the national championship game? All right, obviously you lose the national championship game. Then shortly after that, out of nowhere, Nick Saban retires, and then boom, the board's going from purple to Crimson Tide red.
It's crazy, you know, but that's how the sports world is now. You know, Coach Saban, he did an amazing job, you know, throughout his career coaching. Obviously, you know, he would get looked at as one of the greatest of all time in college football. I mean, he felt like his time was done, and Coach DeBoer, you know, he saw the opportunity present himself, and he felt like that was best for him and his family, you know, and you can't fault somebody for that decision.
What was the mental grind like for you? Because I remember when you were at Indiana, I love bringing up to Penn State fans, by the way, because they're all like, he didn't score a touchdown. I'm like, what does the scoreboard say? So regardless.
Exactly.
I remember you at Indiana. Unfortunately, a lot of injuries. And when you elected to go to Washington and team back up with Kalen DeBoer, no one was thinking, or talking what you ended up doing, into existence. So how did you kind of, mentally go through all the injuries and still finding a way to be playing your best 2 years of football when you needed to?
For me, it's just keeping my faith, just keeping my trust in God. Obviously it didn't go how I wanted to, like as far as the injury part, but I felt like everything I've been through helped shape me into the person and the player I am today. And obviously family and friends, close ones around me, always continue to keep me motivated, keeping my head lifted up high, and gave me that dedication that I wanted to continue to do what I love, and I knew that I was never going to quit. That's nothing that ever crossed my mind, but it did get tough at times, but I knew that deep down inside, I wasn't going to quit, and I was going to do whatever I could to make sure I get back on the field.
I don't know if you've heard this, but I want to bring it up to you to give you a chance to respond as Michael Penix Jr. is joining us. And I'll preface it by saying I really hate the draft process and all the narratives that form with the draft process, and people get told things, and just because you get told something, you don't know where it's coming from, if it's to try to maybe hurt your draft stock so you fall down so a team can get you. But we had one of these draft guys on, Tony Pauline, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and he said, I hear Michael Penix Jr., people are concerned about his work ethic. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, hold on. This is a guy who was at Indiana, and he went through everything he went through, and he was just one of the best quarterbacks in the nation for the last 2 years. So when you hear people call into call your work ethic into like a little bit of skepticism, and they try to say you don't have a good work ethic, do you even understand where that stuff comes from?
No, I don't listen to it. I know myself. I know what I've been through to get here, and I know the amount of work that I put in to get here, and I'm going to continue to put that work in. The doubters and the haters, it never goes away. It never goes away. So I can't let it control me and what I want to do and shape my future. For me, I just got to continue to be myself and do the things that I've been doing to get here and continue to get better each and every day.
Are you the best quarterback in your opinion in this draft? Right?
For sure.
Without even question. I like the confidence like that. But when you look at some of these other quarterbacks, what stands out to you like with a Caleb Williams, a Drake May, a Jaden Daniels, some of the guys that people talk more about?
I mean, those guys are great quarterbacks. I'm not taking nothing away from them,
sure.
But I just feel like myself, I feel like my skill set is unmatched. I don't feel like they can make some of the throws and decisions that I make, but they do a lot of great things for their teams and on film, Obviously, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, they both won Heisman's, so they're respected in that way as well, So Drake May, he played really well early, second year, third year. And so they see those things, but at the same time, for me, I can't focus on that. I know the player I am, and whatever team chooses to draft me, they're going to get championships out of me. So
yeah, I love that answer. Michael Penix Jr. here with us. Do you get too caught up because there's going to be 9,000 mock drafts from now until then? Some days I see you in the first, some days I see you in the second round. Do you get caught up in all that just naturally as a human being?
Nah, I don't. I don't really be on social media that much, and I don't watch TV, so it's like I'm working.
All righty. How about Roma Dunze? This dude's a stud.
The best.
Another guy, Washington guy. Didn't get enough respect, I feel like, through the process. People want to talk about who they want to talk about. What's a team getting in Roma Dunze?
Man, he's going to get a hard worker, and obviously a guy that's going to make any play on the field. I know I could put the ball anywhere, and he'll make the play. And just an unselfish guy, a guy that truly loves the game and truly loves the guys around him and does everything for those people around him. You see him in practice going 100% each and every rep, run plays, pass plays. If he got a block, he knows the ball coming, the ball's not coming, it doesn't matter. He's going to be the same person. And I feel like that's what helped our connection, with me and all my receivers. Those guys always gave me 100% effort each and every day, and their work ethic is unmatched in that position, I believe.
Growing up, who were some of the football players, quarterbacks that you really like to watch?
Mike Vick, yeah. As a lefty, obviously Mike Vick, and obviously he did a lot of great things for the league as well. And Teddy Bridgewater, when I was growing up out of high school, I seen him whenever he was dominating at Louisville and the things that he was doing. Yeah. I liked what he was doing at that time. So
if he didn't suffer that knee injury, I really think he would have been a special player.
For sure. So
no
doubt.
Tell me what you're doing today on behalf of Starry's.
Yeah, so Starry, I'm partnering with Starry, which is a lemon lime flavor soda, and it has a clear, crisp, and refreshing taste. And man, it hits different. Every time you drink it, it's like it's refreshing, you know, for sure. And they're making their first Super Bowl appearance on Sunday with Ice Spice. As a matter of fact, yeah. And so I feel like everybody should tune in, you know, just to see why it's time to see other sodas. So man, I'm super excited for the partnership.
All right, here's the toughest question you're going to be asked in this draft process. We know what you're drinking. One meal left in your life. What's the meal that you're getting?
Spaghetti.
Oh, you're a spaghetti guy.
Yeah, spaghetti, because it's not really bad for you. I mean, it's carbs. You know, it's good.
I love that. Give me a thought of the game coming up on Sunday. You got Brock Purdy. You got Patrick Mahomes, obviously one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. When you look ahead at this matchup from a quarterback perspective, what really jumps out to you?
Yeah, what really jumps out to me, you seen that? Pat Mahomes, you know, obviously a Hall of Fame quarterback. You know, he's been doing it, you know, at a high level, you know, for a long time. And, man, it's hard to bet against Mahomes. But obviously Brock Purdy, you know, a guy that a lot of people feel like, you know, he still has to prove himself. And he's been playing very well. You know, he brought him to a Super Bowl, and I don't feel like that's easy in this league. So for him to be able to accomplish that, to even be here in this moment, you know, I feel like that just speaks volumes on what he is as a player and as a person as well, you know. But man, it's gonna be a great game. I don't really have a team that I would say will win, but I wouldn't bet against Mahomes personally. But yeah, it'll be a good game.
This got to be an interesting time for you as last one with Michael Penix Jr. So you're getting ready to embark on your NFL journey. You're here right at the site of the Super Bowl, and you're getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday. You know, when you're here, do you start to envision yourself, okay, that this is reality? Like next year, I'm going to be in the league, and I'm going to have this task, you know, at hand of trying to go win a Super Bowl.
For sure, man. I'm super excited for the opportunity. You know, whatever opportunity I get, wherever I end up, you know, I know I'm gonna make the most out of the opportunity. And you know, one day I do want to win Super Bowl. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm super excited for it.
Now I could just feel the chip that you have on your shoulder when people continue to doubt you. What do you say to people that are saying, Michael Penix Jr. was a great 2-year run, but man, he's too old, he's not going to be a successful NFL quarterback? What do you say to those people?
Just watch.
Just watch. You're going to light it up in the NFL. I feel it. And your accuracy is just, I mean this in a positive way. It's just flat out stupid.
I appreciate it.
Especially that Texas game, man.
Yes,
you want me some good money in that Texas game, so I appreciate that. Alrighty, I appreciate you doing this. Thanks so much. Good luck.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
He is Michael Penix Jr., Zach Gelb Show right here on CBS Sports Radio. We'll take a time out. Joe Montana going to join us on the other side. Update time first. Here is the Ackman, Rich Ackerman.
CBS Sports Radio. Sports Flash.
Well, the Chiefs players are now off limits until after the Super Bowl. The 49ers will have their media session later. The NFL's MVP will be announced tonight, as well as the Hall of Fame class. Steve McMichael, who is battling ALS, has reportedly been elected to the Football Hall of Fame in the seniors category. The NBA trade deadline has passed, and the two biggest names, Bruce Brown and DeJounte Murray, both stayed put. The Knicks and Pistons made a multiplayer swap with Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic going to New York for Evan Fournier's expiring contract, Quentin Grimes, Malachi Flynn, Ryan Arcidiacono, and 2 second-round picks. The Sixers acquired Buddy Hield from the Pacers for Marcus Morris and Furkan Korkmaz and 3 second-round picks. They also sent Patrick Beverley to the Bucks for Cam Payne, while the Hornets are sending Gordon Hayward to the Thunder for Trey Mann and Davish Bertans. Charlotte also dealt P.J. Washington to the Mavericks for a package of Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and a first-round pick. The Cavaliers look for their 8th straight tonight in Brooklyn against the Nets. I'm Rich Ackerman.
Hey, this is Bart Winkler. I've got a new show weeknights. Join me for the Bart Winkler Show starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, only on CBS Sports Radio.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining.
Alrighty, back inside the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. It is the Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on CBS Sports Radio. Super Bowl week is here. When you talk about the Super Bowl, this man knows a thing or two about winning it all quite a few times, 4 times to be exact. It's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. That, of course, is the legendary Joe Montana. On behalf of Pfizer, Joe, always great to see you. Thanks so much for doing this.
My pleasure. Thanks for having us on.
So I'm so excited to talk to you because I'm so tired, and I've been saying this all throughout the week and even going back to last week, how people refer to Brock Purdy. How do you kind of look at the conversation surrounding Brock? Because say what you want about him, all the dude has done is win games.
Exactly. People get caught up. Where he's drafted. And all it does is go back to say that the draft is not perfect, right? You don't know who's going to make that transition. Look at Tom Brady, right?
Yeah.
And so you just, and they're saying, oh, he's got all these weapons. Well, hey, so what, right? You can have all the weapons you want, but if you don't perform, it doesn't matter. I mean, he's delivering. He's delivering the ball the right places. He's making the right decisions. He's not making big mistakes. And like you said, man, all he does right now is win. And that's all he needs to do. He don't do anything different coming in here on Sunday. Just go have fun. Hey, that's why you play.
And having the trust, the belief in the locker room is the biggest thing for a quarterback. And I was talking to Steve Young before the season, and he just said about Brock, he has the force. And we kind of looked the last few years, right? They had Jimmy G, they had Trey Lance. You could really tell that there was a genuine belief from how last year ended moving into this year. Yeah. That when Brock got on the field, this was a team that just really rallied and believed in their quarterback.
Yeah, I think the way the season ended last year was tough on everybody. Obviously, especially Brock, but he did prove that he knows how to play in that offense and that he can do it. And so I coming into this year, everybody had high expectations, and rightly so. And I think a lot of people were waiting for the falter and say, see, we told you so. But he just went out and said, hey, doesn't matter what you people think. I'm going to go play football and have fun. And that's what it's all about. Go out there and perform, and you can't question that.
So I think we're on the same wavelength, Joe Montana, because I feel that way about Brock Purdy. And the other conversation, and my bosses probably won't like when I say this, but I'll say it anyway. I can't stand the GOAT conversations anymore in sports, right? It was you, then it was Brady, and now Mahomes. People are already making the case. It's like, can we just enjoy his career a little bit? See, he's phenomenal. Yeah. See him win a few more Super Bowls before we already say he's better than Joe Montana and Tom Brady.
Well, I appreciate that. But, I mean, he's fun to watch. And, everybody says, well, who's up there? And, well, Tom obviously had a tremendous career and deserves to be up there. I go look back. And I'm pretty sure it was Otto Graham.
Yeah.
Had 11 championships before there were Super Bowls, right? I mean, how do you compare him to even when we played and even to now in today's game? It's almost impossible to try to do it. And like you said it, let's enjoy the people who are playing now and have fun. And I don't know. People like to make these lists, right? It doesn't matter.
If you played in today's football, like it's so quarterback driven, and every single rule outside of the fumble that if it goes out of the back of the end zone, it goes to the defense.
Avoid the blow because
How do you kind of think this will
to see the 49ers win? They won a couple
teams,
Super Bowls recently, so and it's been like 30 years from the 49ers. So I'd love to see them get back on track.
Is that a bizarre Super Bowl for you to watch? With you, obviously everyone remembers your playing career with the Niners, and it ended up in Kansas City. Is that a conflicting feeling for Joe Montana?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the first time they played in the Super Bowl, it was crazy.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and then now here they are back. So hopefully they'll get it done. And but it's like. Can we have a tie? Probably not. Right?
That wouldn't be good. But that's what I'm fascinated to see, because that Super Bowl a few years ago, they're up 10 with 7.5 to play, the Niners. And they should have won that Super Bowl. Then Mahomes does what Mahomes does. That's what I want to see. The Niners with the lead in the fourth quarter. And can they find a way to get over the hump?
Yeah. I just want them to have a lead when the
game
bell rings.
See, I knew the 49er was in him. Stop with this Chief stuff. Before we let you run, I remember a few years ago, we'll talk about Pfizer in just a second. You actually used our green room here for CBS Sports Radio and CBS Sports, and Justin Herbert was there. And you wanted to have like a conversation and pull him off, all the cameras roll and everything. I thought that was really neat just to say that. They're like, hey, do we mind if you use the room? And then it was Joe Montana and Justin Herbert walking right around the corner. Who are some of the quarterbacks now in football that when you watch, you're like, man, I just love the way that this guy plays?
Well, he's one of the guys I like to watch. Then you got Mr. Allen up in Buffalo. Obviously, the two guys that are playing in this game. And I'm really curious to see Aaron when he comes back with Rodgers and how he does in New York. So, because I think he still has the ability to play, and it's going to be fun to see if he can make a difference there.
Well, you know this and I know this. If he wants to have success in New York, they better find some offensive linemen.
No kidding. That's when I went to Kansas City. One of the reasons was we were looking at another team, and my agent said, "No, you're not going there." And I said, "Well, why not?" He said, "Because you'll never make it through the season." They went through 4 quarterbacks that season. That team. I won't mention it, but they ended up going through 4 guys. 3 guys got hurt, and they got to a 4th quarterback. So. He goes, I told you.
Yeah, well, the Lions.
I love being in Kansas City.
How about the Lions and the Barry Sanders documentaries? Is that accurate that you wanted to go to Detroit? Was that true?
Well, anybody who would want to play with Barry Sanders, right? And he was just fun to watch, and it looked like it was a fun place to go. And I tried a bunch of different places before I settled with Kansas City. Great organization, great fan base, and the people around us were just phenomenal, and where we lived, and we had great experience there. I only sad that we didn't make it to the Super Bowl that year, and we screwed up and lost the game late in the season that we should have won.
You still got the competitive drive.
Oh man, we had to go to Buffalo, and we'd already beat Buffalo once.
How much you missed the game still? Like just
crazy.
Hearing that answer right there, you still miss. You still wish you could play, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. That game's crazy fun. Like I always say, I wish everyone had a chance to go out and play on a Sunday one time. Doesn't matter. Win, lose, just for the feel, the excitement, the adrenaline rushes, the ups and downs. There was nothing like this game.
Tell me what you're doing today on behalf of Pfizer.
Yeah, been a partner with Pfizer for a while, and we're talking about this serious lung disease called pneumococcal pneumonia and how vaccination can help it. For people at risk, especially like for me, 65 and older, you're at a higher risk, and even younger people who have underlying symptoms like asthma and diabetes can also be at a higher risk, which can be handled by vaccination. And so we're trying to get people out to say, hey, look, if you want to know more about this, go to pneumococcal-pneumonia.com, and it's KNOW pneumonia.com for a lot of great information they put on that site, and just trying to keep people aware.
Oh, there we go. Well, Drew Brees, Joe Montana connection on Radio Row. That was some pretty neat stuff. Well, hey, always great to see you. Thanks so much for coming on, and best of luck, all right?
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Radio Row. It is the Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on CBS Sports Radio. By the way, Super Bowl 58 on Westwood One is streaming for free, sponsored by AutoZone. On Super Bowl Sunday, hear every minute of Westwood One's broadcast live on the NFL app by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports or on your Westwood One affiliate station's digital platform. And get in the zone with AutoZone. AutoZone's free battery testing and charging is available for free at your local AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply. And appreciate Joe saying that at the end of the conversation about my grandparents. I was having a little chat with him before we got on the air. I was in New Jersey last week visiting my grandmother and grandfather. My grandfather's 96 years old, and my grandmother is 92. And my grandfather said to me, you're going to Super Bowl next week. Who's the one person you think I would really like that you're talking to with all the plethora of guests that do stop by? And he said, and I said Joe Montana, and he couldn't believe it. He was like, holy smokes, you're talking to Joe Montana? That's so cool. And then he said to my grandmother, like, do you know Joe Montana? Do you remember him? And my grandma gave him like the most sarcastic look. And then was like, no, I've never heard of Joe Montana. And clearly she was kidding. So I told Joe that when we were sitting here before we got back from commercial break and got on the air. And at the end, for him to bring that up means a lot, especially when your grandparents only keep on getting older and older. And obviously very blessed to have, on my dad's side of the family, both grandparents living at 96 and 92 years old. All righty, Zach Gelb Show, CBS Sports Radio. We got a whole lot more cooking here on Radio Row coming up at the top of the hour. I'm really excited for this conversation. CJ Stroud is going to join us for a full segment, about 20 minutes with CJ Stroud, who, in the same day we've had on Puka Nacua and CJ Stroud. To see the impact that both of those guys have made in the NFL so quickly, I'm sure that there have been other moments in history, but to see the way that both of those guys have come into the league and have dominated the league in year one, that's pretty special. And when you look at CJ Stroud, I don't want to make it as if it's an underdog story, because it's not. The guy was the second overall pick in this past year's NFL draft, but a lot of people were down on CJ Stroud, or at least presented that of being down on CJ Stroud in this NFL draft process. And Bryce Young was the number 1 overall pick, and then C.J. Stroud ended up going number 2. And a year later, if the Panthers could redo that, they would absolutely redo it, because they made the trade to get up to number 1 and had to give up all those picks and DJ Moore to Chicago. So if they're going to make that trade again, they would clearly have selected C.J. Stroud. But I'm fascinated to see, and I know Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud are close, how we're going to be talking about those guys for the next 5 years. Because year one, it wasn't even close. C.J. Stroud, by a mile, and then some, was clearly the better football player than Bryce Young. But to see what C.J. did in Houston, where you take over a franchise that's just been synonymous with bad decision after bad decision, and you go from that in year one, where they draft you, then after that they trade back up to the number 3 pick, go back inside the top 10, they get Will Anderson, and by the way, before that, they hired DeMeco Ryans to be the head coach. That's the nucleus of this group, that if they stay healthy, they're going to win a lot of football games in Houston. And you look around in Houston, Nico Collins right now is their best wide receiver. He's a good wide receiver. I don't know how many teams, when you look at their number 1 wide receivers, like, he's not Tyreek Hill, he's not Justin Jefferson, he's not Cooper Kupp, he's not Jamar Chase, he's not Stephon Diggs. Like, he's a heck of a player, but you still feel as if that the Texans have a lot more to add. And look what they did this year with not a lot around C.J. Stroud. And that's what happens when you make a good hire in DeMeco Ryans, and you have 2 guys, one on the offensive side of the ball, one on the defensive side of the ball, that turn that franchise around. And those are enormous, and I mean enormous, foundational pieces moving forward. And for 2 years, Nick Caserio was just waiting, right? You had the Lovie Smith hire. You had the David Culley hire. No, everyone knew those guys weren't going to be the long-term head coach, but they pounced this past offseason. They get their coach. They get their quarterback. Everyone's crushing them. for trading up into the draft to get Will Anderson Jr., and look how awesome Will Anderson Jr. was in his rookie year in addition to C.J. Stroud. So C.J. Stroud going to join us coming up in 5 minutes, and as I was saying, pretty awesome that we've had Puka Nacua and C.J. Stroud on in the same day, and I was blown away to open up the show with that conversation with Puka Nacua, because to see what he did this past year, and you know the whole story, 5th-round draft pick, going to BYU, transferred over from Washington, and he told the emotional story there with his family, and to be an all-pro after year one, man, pretty special. So Texans' sensational rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud joins us on Radio Row in 5 minutes.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining.
We continue. It is the Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on CBS Sports Radio, inside the Convention Center at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. And man, I don't know if I've ever seen a better rookie season than the one that my next guest had, and that is the quarterback of the Houston Texans, a game changer, a stud, already a top 5 quarterback, in my opinion, in the NFL. He is CJ Stroud on behalf of Visa today. CJ, great to see you. Congratulations on all your success. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me.
So I remember the last time I talked to you, I was at the Heisman, and it was right before the college football playoff game up against Georgia. And people were kind of down on you, even though you were a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. And I said to you, I know you haven't made a decision yet on declaring for the draft, but if I'm a GM, why should I take you number 1 overall? And something that stood out to me, you said, you're more mobile than what people give you credit for, and you hope to put that on display soon. I'm just wondering, since that conversation, we've seen it on the field, have you kind of learned to use your legs and move around the pocket a little bit more?
Oh, yeah, I feel like I've always kind of had that skill. Since I've been a young kid. I'm not like super fast, but I'm pretty elusive, and I can extend plays. And I think I did that my whole career. But people highlight a game and they don't know what's going on behind the scenes, you know. So it was a lot of things that I was dealing with in college that I couldn't run because I was injured or things like that, and I fought through that injury and still tried to play. So I know it's all old news, and I think I'm proving those people wrong right now. So I've been having a ball, you know, extending plays at the next level against the best players in the world.
I thought your draft coverage was bull crap. Like, if people didn't want you to be the first quarterback, you know, second quarterback, whatever it was, but this S2 cognitive test, like, it had to annoy you, right? That people were basically saying that's why you shouldn't get drafted.
Not necessarily. Like, of course I wasn't happy about it, but I mean, it wasn't the first time people wrote me off or tried to get me to be less than I knew my potential was, you know. So I really was kind of ready for it in a sense, because I knew something was going to come with the process. It kind of just how it goes
all the time,
you know. So I mean, I was blessed enough to fight through that and still create great relationships with these GMs and the owners and the head coaches. And so I think I have a lot of respect around the league on how I conduct myself in that manner, of course. And then you turn on the film, you can clearly tell that I was a smart quarterback, and I'm still doing it now. So, you know, it's all good. I don't have any ill will or I'm not mad at anybody.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't happen to anybody else, but I knew that I was strong enough to go through it.
Talking to CJ Stroud right now, what did this year kind of mean to you? How do you kind of put it into words? Because it was so surreal to watch. I can't imagine actually living through it.
It was special, man. You know, just having the opportunity to start as a rookie from game one all the way into the playoffs. You know, just a lot of learning, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of growing. You know, so I had an amazing time just playing with my teammates and having a great time with them. So I mean, I just say this season was special. And it's just something I'm going to learn from.
Did you know the night of the draft that you were going to be the second overall pick to the Texans? Because it was clear the Panthers were taking Bryce Young, right?
Not really. I didn't know where. I thought I could have went 1 all the way to 10. You know, like I didn't know where I was going to go.
Because I remember
Yeah.
we were sitting at the draft. We were live on location, and everyone's like, "Oh, CJ's gonna fall. CJ's gonna fall." And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like the day when you wake up and you hear someone's gonna fall, they don't usually end up falling.
Well, I mean, that's people's opinion and everybody's entitled to their own. But, I live in reality and I'm the person, sitting in the shoes that has to get picked. So I honestly wasn't stressed about it. Like if I dropped, cool. If I got picked early, cool. Because at the end of the day, like it's not in my control. I'm not the one making the decision. I did what I did on film. I had the interviews. I did everything in my power, in my control at that point. So at that time, I was kind of relaxed and just ready to figure out where I was going to live for the next couple of years.
Yeah. There's this theory out there, and you've obviously heard it, that Frank Reich and Josh McCown, they wanted to draft you. Then David Tepper of the Panthers, the owner, usurped it to get Bryce Young. There's that video with you, McCown, and Reich. And it looks like he's trying to start some pickup basketball game or whatever he said. Was any of that stuff like true? Did the Panthers, did it surprise you when they didn't take you?
I would say wasn't surprised. I mean, I knew that it was going to be me or Bryce because they told me that they were looking for a quarterback. And I wasn't necessarily saying it wasn't going to be me or it was. I mean, I was kind of just looking at my phone, ready for the phone call if it came, and I seen Bryce and his family excited, and I was just super happy for my brother. At that point, like you see somebody work so hard for so long. I've known Bryce since like the 8th grade, so to see him accomplish his dreams was just amazing. And I got picked right after him, and you can see his reaction. Then they caught it on video, so just a lot of things that people were seeing online and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the Panthers were the ones who made the decision, and that's the decision they made. So at the end of the day, I think Bryce is going to be great there. I know I'm going to be great with the Texans, and everything happens for a reason.
It's cool because, I know some of the local guys on Sports Radio 610, part of the same company as we're talking to CJ Stroud. And for 3-4 years, every time we'd bring him on the show, it was like a negative story with the Texans, negative story with the Texans. To see D'Amico come in, you come in, Will Anderson Jr. come in with the 3rd overall pick, how you guys just changed that organization with Nick Caserio so quickly. It's pretty damn impressive and cool to see.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a grind. It's not as easy as it seems, and I know the people who are behind closed doors did a lot of great. I mean, behind the scenes, have done a lot of great things that make our team so special. Not just like Nick and D'Amico, they're at the forefront of that, and the McNairs, but just our staff, our janitors, like our cooks, our chefs, our nutritionists, our strength staff. Like a lot of people have been great for a long time, and now the world's starting to notice. So I mean, it's just really special to be a part of something great.
Were you? This may be a weird question for you, but were you surprised the success that you had this year? Because it didn't seem like there was like a rookie curve or anything like that. It seemed like you got right into the league and you were elite right away.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I wouldn't say I was surprised. Like I've always been a confident person. I always have had like my worries and my doubts in a sense, but I know that God has put a special talent into me and a special type of mindset that I knew if I was just confident in myself, that I know I can do anything that Christ strengthens me. So I really knew I had a feeling I was gonna play good after like week 1, and really after preseason, like we played the Dolphins, and then we went to the Saints, and like the game really started to slow down around that point. And then we played the Ravens, and they were a great defense. And I still moved the ball down the field pretty well. And then we played the Colts, and I played well. So, like, after that, I got my rhythm, and everything started to slow down.
When you think of where you could eventually go to, because you're number one, you barely turned over the football. Yeah, you had one of the greatest rookie seasons we've ever seen. What do you think the ceiling of C.J. Stroud is? Like, how much better do you think you could get?
I think I get a lot better. It's something that I pride myself on is never making a mistake twice, and there's a lot of mistakes that I made this year that hopefully I don't do again, and a lot of mistakes are inevitable. Like what I learned in this league,
you throw the ball 400 something times, you're bound to throw a few interceptions.
100%, and the biggest thing for me is just that next play, letting that next play be my best play. So there's a lot of things that I learned this year that I'm gonna use next year, and I think the sky's the limit. I don't think there is a limit, to be honest. I don't think the sky or anything. I think whatever the work I put in and whatever God wants for my life is gonna happen.
Do you feel like right now you're a top 5 quarterback in the NFL?
Yes, sir, I do. I think I put it on film. I think my numbers speak for itself, especially missing 2 games. I think if I didn't miss those 2 games, my numbers would have been just as good or one of the best in the league. So, and I think you can see the impact I had on my team. So I'm not in the business of like arguing I'm top 5, I'm not. I really don't care. I mean, I just want to win.
Well, who do you think are the top 5 quarterbacks in football?
Now it's quick on the spot. I would say, of course, Mahomes. I would say Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I would say myself, and then I would probably go
Burrow.
No, I mean not because he didn't play last year. Of course, Burrow is like one of my favorite quarterbacks ever. But I would say either Tua or Tua Hurts. I think or Josh Allen. Excuse me.
Okay.
But I think I'm like definitely top 3, top 4.
Growing up, like, who'd you kind of look up to? Like, who were some of the quarterbacks that you watched and you were like, wow, that really impressed you?
Yeah, I watched a lot of Joe Burrow. That's somebody who I watch, like we kind of play a similar type of game. Can make every throw, can extend plays, really smart, make the pocket right, great pocket mobility. So a lot of stuff like that. My favorite player growing up was Mike Vick, and I'm nothing like Mike Vick. He's a dog. He can run his tail off, but I'm not that good of a runner. But he was my favorite player. And then Deshaun Watson was also I was a big fan of his.
Talking to CJ Stroud right now. When we get to this game on Sunday, from a quarterback perspective, like, what else is there to say about Patrick Mahomes? But the conversation around Brock Purdy is fascinating. People want to call him a system quarterback, game manager, a good quarterback. It doesn't matter to me. I want your quarterback cap on, though. What do you see when you watch Brock?
Yeah, I think there's a unfair bias on Brock because he's on a great team, but at the same time, to play quarterback and be in the Super Bowl, you have to be great yourself. And don't get me wrong, like, this is a team sport. You want great teammates. Like, I would love to have you know what I'm saying? I do have great teammates that help me, so I don't think Brock is getting the right treatment. I think he's a great quarterback. I think definitely he's a top 10 quarterback in this league, and he's going to continue to prove people wrong. I love watching his game. He's very accurate. He's very mobile. He gets because we're in a similar type of offense. He gets the ball in the right player's hands at the right time. He doesn't force the ball. And honestly, there's nothing easy or basic about being an NFL quarterback. So, I mean, I have a ton of respect for that guy, and I think he's a great quarterback.
All right, the biggest conversation with this Super Bowl is Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. You think they're going to end up getting married one day? I kind of feel like there's going to be wedding bells between them two.
No comment. I really don't care. Shout out Trav. Trav's my dog. I know he's not worried about who I'm dating. So
yeah.
No.
But the coverage of it is wild. It really is.
I mean, it's what's hot right now. It's the world we live in, and Taylor Swift's a great artist, and Travis Kelce's the best tight end ever played football. So, yeah, Travis is a good friend of mine, and I have a lot of respect for that dude, and he showed me a lot of love and gave me a lot of great advice. So, shout out to Travis and Taylor.
Tom Brady's my favorite quarterback of all time. Following Brady as closely as I have, he really liked Lamar Jackson a few years ago. He's really grown to like you. I know you have a little bit of a relationship with Tom Brady. How did you guys kind of link up?
Through a mutual friend, Michael Rubin.
Who Fanatics.
Yeah, and then Mike Rubin's been amazing to me. Just a lot of leadership from him, a lot of fellowship, just being a big brother to me, and I have a lot of love for Rube. And he connected us. And me, Will, Levis, Anthony Richardson, and Bryce sat down at lunch.
That rookie symposium, right?
Yes. Yeah, we sat down at lunch with Tom and Travis Scott, and they just gave us game, for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that's when me and Tom met, and we really didn't talk much after that. And then I did his podcast after we played the Bengals, I believe, and I grabbed his number, and I've been in contact with him ever since. And he's a really great mentor, and he's giving back, which I appreciate.
You're a humble guy, CJ Stroud, but who was the one text message or DM that you got this year? Because everyone was talking about you, right? Sensational rookie season. Who was the one person that you're like, wow, I can't believe that this person just reached out to me, that you were even starstruck with? Anyone?
Not necessarily. I don't really go through my DMs much. Yeah. I've gotten a lot of love from a lot of rappers I used to listen to.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's kind of cool. Excuse me. So yeah, I've gotten really cool. Quavo.
That's awesome.
With the Migos. Yeah, man, he's
I love Migos.
A great artist, but man, he's even a better friend. So he's showing me a lot of love, and he's a really big football fan too. So Quavo is probably one of the people that I remember that I met. I'm like, dang, Quavo knew who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Why should you you're going to win Rookie of the Year, but why should you win it over Puka Nacua, who, if it was any other year, I think he would have won Rookie of the Year?
Honestly, I don't know. That's stuff for other people to decide. I think me and Puka trained together our whole offseason.
Oh, you guys have a good relationship?
Yeah, so that was my brother. Like we hooped together, we went out to eat. Like we were together for about like 6-7 months straight. So he's a great player. He works really hard. Comes from a great family. And I mean, I'm just super proud of that dude. You know. So I mean, if I win it, cool. If I don't, I'm not tripping. It's like I'm not really in it for the accolades. I just want to.
I'm
give
telling
respect.
you have, like, if I'm describing a franchise quarterback, you're right there.
Thanks, man.
Because seriously, you say all the right things. You go out on the field. You played your ass off this year, but you know what's going to happen now. People are going to be like, Texans are one-hit wonders. They're not going to be able to repeat this. Why is this just the beginning? Why are you guys only going to keep on getting better? You tell me.
Just because, I mean, it's up to us. It's not up to anybody. Like, that's what people are paid to do, is to talk. We're paid to play, you know? So I'm going to go out there and do what I'm paid to do and try to execute at a high level. And, you know, if it doesn't happen this year, it doesn't happen. It's people got to understand it's part of the game. You know, I know a lot of people want these clickbaits and all these videos where they're right or they're wrong. Like, it doesn't really matter to me. Like, at the end of the day, I live in reality and I love this sport and I have a lot of respect for this sport. So I'm not going to come up here and just tell people I'm going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread because I know that's not reality. Like, you have to put in the work. You have to be able to meet opportunity with work, and hopefully that matches up. And sometimes you go out there and you lay an egg, you know? So I'm just really excited for next year and for that next challenge because it's not going to be easy and nothing in my life has ever been easy. So I'm really excited just to play another year with my teammates and my brothers. So I don't really care what other people got to say, and I respect everybody's opinion, but you know, it's up to us to go out there and execute.
You got the awesome zip up right here with Visa.
Yes,
you
sir.
Tell me what we're doing today with Visa. What do we got cooking? What's on the credit card docket?
So yeah, I've been working with Visa for about 2 years now, and I mean, it's been amazing just what they stand for, working with fans and trying to help people maximize their potential, and really just set goals and reach those goals. And that's something I can relate to being a professional athlete, you know. So it's been amazing working with them, and we really just want people to understand like their potential and get to that at the highest level, and knowing that I'm in the same race as them on that journey, you know. So we have the Fandium Pandium booth over there that I did the meet and greet today, and we'll be around this week. So man, it's been an honor working with Visa.
What impressed you the most about D'Amico Ryans, by the way?
Really just his aura, you know, his personality, his vibrant personality, just how positive he is, even though like sometimes he's not a negative coach, you know, like he's not that guy to come and just like yell at you for no reason. He's gonna just keep it real. But he's gonna set a standard, and if you don't meet that standard, you stick out like a sore thumb. And honestly, me and Will came in with that same mindset. Because honestly, we didn't always have winners in the locker room in our organization, and it took a while for us to get guys to learn how to win and you know, to have the preparation the right way. And D'Amico has been at the forefront of that. So man, I've been blessed enough to be able to learn from such a great coach.
CJ Stroud, before we let you run once again on behalf of Visa, and you've been great on this show today, and you had an unbelievable season. Marvin Harrison Jr., I think he's the best player, period, in this draft. No disrespect to any of the quarterbacks. I know all we do is talk about quarterbacks. You were a teammate of his at Ohio State. Is it just like when you watch him, you just know that's going to be a dude that's going to be a Hall of Famer one day?
Yeah, when you talk about like everybody talks about like the prototypical guy, like he's fast, he's big, he has releases, he has routes. Marv is my thing. What I look for first is he a dog? Like, is he somebody who wants the ball every play? And that's that guy right there. You know, like you said, he's the best player in the world coming out of college, and quarterback or not. Like, I have a lot of respect for the quarterback coming up in this class as well. But at the end of the day, I think if you're looking for the most complete, the most polished, the most NFL game ready week one to make an impact on the NFL team, Marvin Harrison is that guy for you. So I'm super proud of that dude, man. He's the hardest worker I've ever met in my life, other than my mom probably. But you know, so like he's just a dog in everything he does. So just a lot of respect, and I'm just proud of him.
All right, I know you got to bounce. I don't want to keep you here all day. Last one for CJ Stroud. Your favorite memory from this season is what?
I would say winning that playoff contention game against the Colts, and then winning the playoff game at home, beating Cleveland. That was a big moment.
Well, hey, best of luck. I can't wait to see what's going to happen the rest of your career. Keep on proving people wrong, and thanks for doing this.
My man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Joining us on set next from the Los Angeles Chargers, Austin Ekeler.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining.
All righty, welcome back in. It is Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on CBS Sports Radio. Now joining us, Austin Ekeler, star running back in the NFL, and he's here today on behalf of Dairy Queen. Austin, always great to see you. How you been?
Likewise. Thanks for having me, man. I've been great. How about yourself?
I've been fantastic. Can't complain. We'll talk about Dairy Queen in just a bit, but how do you kind of look back at this season? Obviously, it was with the Chargers, but how do you kind of give me your perspective of it?
Yeah, a lot of learning lessons that I've learned for myself just as a leader, where I need to be better. And then, just learning how, the ugly side of NFL can play out sometimes. It's unfortunate, but as a team game, and we experienced a team loss this year as a season, and I know we're ready to bounce back. Everyone that was on that team, and I know I'm ready to continue to go forward. Now I feel like I have a little bit more that I've gone through. I feel like I have some saltiness from that, and I'm going to do everything to not let that happen again for whatever team I'm on, next year.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, you say continue to go forward. It's like we don't even know
Always go forward. Yeah,
where you're going to play. We've talked about the business side of this before. You know how people are now going to try to devalue you just because of the position. And then when you don't have a great season, people are going to start to say, oh, Austin Ekeler slowing down. This is what happens with running backs. Why do you still have a lot of good football left in you?
I mean, that's what happens, right? If you're just talking in general, right? If things start to trend downward, people are going to make assumptions, and it's up for you to prove that you got to bounce back. And so that's what I'm looking at right now is, hey, we did have a down year, right? It affects the entire team, which affects anyone going into free agency that year, which happened to be me. And for me, I still got a lot of fire, and really, going into year 8, I'm in a position where I'm looking at what's the quality of the team that I'm going into as far as how they want to use me, what's their offensive coordinator situation, what's the running back situation. For me, I'm bringing fire. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to bounce back because, it was a down year, but it doesn't define you. I don't think one year defines you, especially when you've put, increasing role of years before that. And so for me, it's another time for me to go out there and actually prove that, hey, I'm still a dynamic player and can play at a high standard and be consistent in it.
Austin Ekeler here with us. I thought that Brandon Staley should not have been brought back after the playoff choke over a year ago.
Playoff choke.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is,
Yeah, we choked for sure.
But sure. I thought going into the season that even though I believed in the talent on the roster, when you have a coach that I, from afar, sense a lot of people didn't believe in, that could create a messy situation. Is that a fair assessment? Did the message of Staley just not really resonate with that locker room?
No, I think that's not a fair assessment at all.
Why?
100% believed in Brandon Staley from day one, and we were bought in. We were bought into the message of our way, right? Relationships and competition. That was what Brandon Staley spoke. That is what he brought to the table. That is what he preached. It takes a village, and he's been the lightning rod of all of the negativity that's gone on. It's his fault. It's him. It's all of us. We're all part of that. We all put that product on the field. We were all letting things that shouldn't have slip. The standard is created by the leaders of the team and the head coach. The head coach is supposed to basically guide the culture, which, they're bringing in Jim Harbaugh, who I think here is good at that type of, leadership. So that would be great. But it's a village. So the leadership, we got to step up. If I'm back there on the team, our leadership has to step up in creating the culture of holding the standard, holding people accountable, because it was lacking. It wasn't just Brandon Staley.
Gotcha. Fair enough. I respect that answer. Austin Ekeler here with us. For you, and I'm sure you got to think about it. You don't know what's going to happen in the next few months, but in your gut, do you feel like you played your last game with the Chargers?
In my gut, no. I think there's definitely a possibility I could be back. And that's because I think just where I've been, I know their situation, they're looking for a running back. I just moved out. And so also did Joshua Kelly, who was right behind me, who's backing me up this year. So I'm not closing any doors. And so, for that, I don't think it's my last game. It could be, absolutely, but no.
It's kind of funny as Austin Ekeler's here with us. We've talked to you when the running back issue was very hot in the offseason. Here we are in the Super Bowl. You have Christian McCaffrey, who some could have argued could have been the MVP of the league this year, and Isaiah Pacheco. That's one angry runner. He is an angry runner. I love watching him play.
Right. And you said it's a running back issue. It's not a running back. It was more of a player issue of, getting guys franchised where they're not allowed to go out and actually find a fair market value for themselves and find a home of someone who is willing to give them that fair market value, and at least go through that negotiation process. And so that's why it's a player. It's not just running backs. It happened to the tight ends. It happened to the safeties. It's just in general an issue that we face, that's in our CBA, unfortunately, that where we can get locked in for 1 year, take all the risk, and then also get an artificial number that's going to be your contract number. And so it's just something that we don't like. We want to push back because we want to give our guys opportunities to go get their contract and get a few years locked in. But yeah, it's important for us to see that we had running backs that are continuing to play at a high level, young guys, old guys, right? We have Raheem at 31 having his best year. We have Christian who just
know the work that it puts in with your story to reach where you are. The whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing, I don't get why it annoys anyone. I think it's great for football. And I think it's great for them individually because it seems genuine.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for football. If it's bringing viewership, it's bringing new people, it's bringing the culture together. That's exactly what football. That's why I love football when it comes to a fan side. It brings people together, especially with fantasy. That's why I love that, because it brings people together.
Yeah.
So if Taylor is making an impact and their relationship is genuine, which, like you said, it seems like, that's great. And if it brings more people together like that, why are you rooting against that? To me, that's what we need in this country is more things to bring us together. And if that's going to do it, and it's as simple as a relationship and showing someone on film of like, hey, bringing this music and this, football life, these two individuals together, then let's keep going. Like, we should be rooting for that, in my opinion.
Absolutely. What are you doing today on behalf of Dairy Queen?
Yeah, here with Dairy Queen. So, we're talking Super Bowl. So, what are we doing for the Super Bowl?
Gotta have some grub.
You gotta have some food, and Dairy Queen obviously is known for the blizzards. However, right, we're talking about the food side of Dairy Queen, which they have a new item on the menu, which is super appropriate for Super Bowl. They have the honey barbecue sauced and tossed chicken strips. So we're talking some chicken strips. They also have burgers. And so, yeah, we're bringing a new menu item to y'all at your Super Bowl get-togethers, and grab yourself a blizzard while you're going to pick up your chicken strips as well. So
yeah, you can never have too much food, never too much drinks on Super Bowl Sunday.
So yeah, if you want to check out more, make sure to check out the website, check out dairyqueen.com, or check out the Dairy Queen app as well. So yeah, make sure you get yourself some DQ and enjoy.
The last thing I'll ask you, and obviously for this game, the quarterbacks are talked about so much, and I find it funny how much people spend voicing their opinion on Brock Purdy at this point. The guy wins games. That's all that matters to me. But your quarterback in Justin Herbert, he's gotten some of that criticism. I still see a heck of a football player, and I would want him on my team. I don't know how many more quarterbacks I would take over him.
Yeah.
You kind of just laugh at the conversation surrounding Justin, where people just go, oh, he's an overrated quarterback. He's not a great quarterback.
It's the same. Look, when you look at our team, it's the same, especially coming out for this year. It's the same thing that I'm going through right now. Oh, Austin's, had a down. The whole team had a down year. The whole team had a down year. Keenan Allen popped off. So there was an outlier there.
It's funny. They always say he's the most underrated player.
There was an outlier. Every once in a while you get there, but when the team has a down year, everyone's affected. And not even Keenan, that he probably could have had an even better year if we were continuing to play at a higher level as a culture and as a team together. And so, luckily for Justin, he plays a position where he can play, a decade and a half.
Yeah.
For me, it's shorter lived, just as far as the lifespan as playing running back. And so for us, like looking at Justin, it's like, look, he's continuing to grow. He's continuing to make an impact. It's going to come down to more than just, Justin has to have the best year of his career. It's people around him also need to be stepping up and playing at that type of level too. And it, like I said, it takes a village, and it takes a village to even looking at Pat Mahomes. Like you got to have guys around you that you can at least lean on, and they continue to be consistent all the time. And then also the coaching, then defense plays a factor into it too. It's a whole team that leads to the success and how someone looks. Mahomes is out there playing defense, but his defense is showing up for him, right?
Well,
and that helps him win games.
He said he said he could be a game manager, as he did it against the Ravens. He said it.
And so it takes a village. It takes a village. And so for Justin to continue to reach those new heights, it's not just him. Like you can't ever put the blame in football. That's why football is a great game. That's why it's a tough game. It's because it takes more than just a couple individuals that can carry the team. It's so much more than that. And go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I always appreciate your time.
Yeah,
always great to see you. Thanks so much for coming on and doing this. There he is, Austin Ekeler, joining us on behalf of Dairy Queen.
Well, the NFL's MVP, as well as the Hall of Fame class, will be announced tonight. According to reports, former Bears great Steve McMichael, currently battling ALS, has been elected to the Hall. Ravens receiver Zay Flowers is under investigation for an alleged domestic assault incident that took place following the team's divisional playoff victory. The NBA trade deadline passed, and the biggest names weren't moved, but certainly a lot of deals, with the Sixers picking up Buddy Hield from Indiana for Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, and 3 second-round picks. They also sent Patrick Beverley to the Bucks for Cam Payne. The Knicks acquired veteran shooters Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic from the Pistons, and that depth is going to be needed because OG Anunoby will reportedly miss up to 3 weeks after undergoing elbow surgery. Gordon Hayward headed from Charlotte to Oklahoma City for Trey Mann and Davis Bertans, while the Hornets also sending P.J. Washington to Dallas for Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and a first-round picks. The Cavaliers, the hottest team in the NBA, with 7 straight wins and 15 of 16. They'll take on the Nets in Brooklyn. I'm Rich Ackerman.
Hey, this is JR. Let's hang out weeknights here on CBS Sports Radio for my show, the JR Sport Brief, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, it's a Thursday inside the Mandalay Bay Convention Center on Radio Row in Las Vegas. It is the Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on CBS Sports Radio. And now joining us from the Chicago Bears, this guy keeps on just having good season after good season after good season. It's weird. I keep on calling him the most underrated wide receiver in the league, and he shouldn't be underrated anymore because he's been good for a very long time. And that, of course, is DJ Moore on behalf of Mountain Dew. DJ, appreciate the time. How are you?
I'm doing great. Being here with Mountain Dew has been a blast, especially with the new Baja Blast being available everywhere this year. So I'm just not at Taco Bell.
Yeah. I got to ask you, though, and we'll talk more about Mountain Dew in just a bit. Does the underrated tag annoy you? Because like Keenan Allen forever has been the most underrated wide receiver in football. And I go, when everyone says you're the most underrated wide receiver in football, shouldn't they just then rate you properly? Like you're a top 10 wide receiver.
The underrated don't bother me. I just go out there and do me. No matter what the narrative is. At the end of the day, being underrated, when you make big splashes, you start trending. So I'm happy with it.
When you look at your time in Carolina and now the last few years in Chicago, for you, what's been the biggest difference as you continue to just get better and better as a player?
I just had a reset. Had to reset this year, and it was like I was a rookie going into Chicago. So. Even though it was my 6th year, I just had to reset and just hone in on what I usually do and do it better than what I was doing in Carolina.
Was that at all bizarre for you, the whole process? Like, we know Carolina, they end up getting their quarterback, a year later via the future in Bryce Young. But was that like bizarre for you, the whole process when the trade did go down?
Yeah, it was a little shocking. I thought I was going to be in Carolina forever, but that didn't happen. They gave up the trade for the number 1 pick, which made me feel like I was the number 1 pick for the Bears. So I was pretty happy when I really got there. So at the beginning, it was just like a lot of uncertainty and a little scary because I always been in Carolina.
Yeah, it was really, you look back at the deal, it was highway robbery for the Chicago Bears. Like, hey, maybe Bryce Young turns out to be a great player, but now Chicago has the number 1 overall pick again. You guys got better as the season did go on. And we'll see what happens, obviously, this offseason, as there's a lot of speculation. You're probably tired of the speculation already.
I see a lot of it between Justin and Caleb. So I'm just looking forward to really getting it narrowed down to what's really going on.
So you sell me on Justin Fields. I think the organization has failed him more than it's on him when you look back at his first 3 years in the NFL. But you are with the guy. You know the guy very well through this last year. Justin Fields, what do you think he could end up being as a quarterback?
It could be top 10. Right now he's still learning, he's still growing. As you seen at the end of the year, what he was doing, what was able to do with the offense, and just doing everything that he can to put us in the best possible position to win. It was great just to see him grow after he got hurt for those 4 or 5 games and then come back on the tear. It was amazing.
What would you do? Like, let's say you're the general manager. You're Ryan Poles. What do you do with the number 1 overall?
Shoot. Everybody know I'm a big Justin advocate, so I say we keep Justin and just keep building up the roster.
So Marvin Harrison Jr. has been that player that's been speculated.
Yeah.
Getting him in that wide receiving room. You know, I know that you'd have 2 great options, a great 1-2 punch. Would that be something that would entice you?
That would be good. You know, I'm always going to root for the hometown kid. You know, grew up watching him grow up, and we ran on the same track team. So it would be amazing to see him be on the same team with me and just go out there and show what he can do.
Talking to DJ Moore right now, Matt Eberflus as a head football coach. How would you've had a few coaches in this league? How would you describe playing for Coach Eberflus?
He was motivating us and keeping us all together throughout the year, throughout the ups and downs. So it's a testament to him to just keep the locker room together, and then the leaders of the locker room just going and just emphasizing that message and just staying together.
Are you kind of numb to all the change that happens in the NFL? Like, you go from Carolina, and then this was your first year in Chicago. Now, right, you had Luke Getsy. Now you have a new offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron. Does this change? It just feels normal now, even though you have to learn all these new things?
Yeah, it's become normal, and I've become numb to it because I know at the end of the day it's a product. What you do, what have you done for me lately type business. So just having turnover like that is just normal, and I know I got to go out there produce what I can before I get up out of there.
So, like, when you have to learn a new system, and I don't know how much like contact you're even allowed to have at this point. How do you try to get ahead of the curve so you guys don't have a slow start?
You know, you could watch film on where you came from. So I watched some film on Seattle and what they do, and watch the receivers and how they were running concepts with last year.
Did you see that clip yesterday of Jackson Smith and Jigba? Did you at all see that?
I seen a little bit of it about him talking about Shane.
Yeah, he was like, is this off? Like, it didn't look good. He tried to save himself. It didn't look good, though.
It was a little mixed, so I don't know how to take it. So I'm going to just form my own opinion when I really get down to it.
Have you had conversations with Shane so far?
We text, and that was about it. So when we see each other in person, I think it's going to be more like dialogue and what's going on.
So you're easy to root for, as DJ Moore is here with us on behalf of Mountain Dew. Obviously, you're a heck of a player. People want to see Chicago get back to what they're capable of. I think it's good for the NFL. You being in that building, knowing Ryan Poles, who believed in you, traded for you, knowing Matt Eberflus, this is a big year for him. Why do you think this group and what you guys are doing in Chicago is going to end up ultimately working when we see the Bears get back into the playoffs consistently?
It's just a lot of togetherness. Everybody's just one and on the same page from the top down, from the ownership all the way down to the janitor. We all on the same page of what we want to get accomplished. And you've seen bits and pieces of that last year. And then to finish out the year, well, we lost to Green Bay. But the games before that, you've seen it all on a rise. So we look forward to doing that.
What are your thoughts on this game coming up on Sunday between the Chiefs and Niners?
I got the Niners winning.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I'm picking the Niners, too.
Yeah.
I feel like every person I've talked to this week on this show goes, man, the Niners have a great team, but I can't bet against or I can't pick against Patrick Mahomes. Why are you going with the Niners?
I'm going with the Niners just based off of Christian. No, just the player he is, and then just knowing how hard he worked. So he's going to try to pull it off on his own, or, you know, the whole team going to either raise up to the occasion or it's going to be bad.
Well, how'd you process the whole former teammate of yours, obviously Christian McCaffrey? DJ Moore is here with us. His mother basically shaming Olivia and him to go get a luxury box for a Super Bowl and putting that out on social media. Yeah, I think Christian has $2 million to spare for a Super Bowl box, right?
Oh, $2 million is a lot for a box, but I think they got it, didn't they? So I think they pulled it off, and hey, kudos to them. I don't know if I'd have spent $2 million.
Yeah, probably not. I tell everyone, hey, operate on your own. Get your own tickets. Don't shame me publicly in the media to get a nice luxury box at the Super Bowl. How do you look back at that experience in Carolina when you were with Christian McCaffrey? You know, you're a great offensive player. He's obviously an elite offensive player. What did you guys kind of learn from one another?
Just work ethic, and just feeding off each other. You know, we did some workouts during the offseason together, and just seeing how hard he works, and just if I made a play, he would want to make a play. If he made a play, then I think I want to make a play and go out there and do what's best for the team when we was in Carolina. You know, at the end of the day, we was doing all we could, and that's what we did.
So tell me what you're doing today on behalf of Mountain Dew.
I'm here to promote Baja Blast. You know, they went from just being at Taco Bell Now they're nationwide every day. So y'all got to go get it. And then they got a great Super Bowl commercial coming this Sunday. So I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I hope everybody loves it.
Are you in the commercial?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, okay. Under a little embargo. We may just got some special piece of information here. When you look at other receivers around the league, who are some guys that you just really respect and you go, man, some of the best in the league?
I give it to Steph. Been watching him for a while. Justin, Devontae, Keenan Allen, people like that. They just go out there and just do their games, and they all got different ways of playing receivers. So I watch their tape.
The last year with Stephon Diggs in Buffalo was bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have a touchdown for a long stretch towards the end of the season. I think it was like week 6, his last 100-yard game as well. But what do you really like about Stephon Diggs as a wide receiver that makes you think he still has a few years of really highly productive?
Maryland guy. That's right. The big thing.
You're a little guy, the Maryland guy, the McCaffrey connection. That's what I realized.
Yeah. So no, just seeing his game always be the same, and him evolving from going from Minnesota to the Bills, it's been great. So I still watch him, and I know he'd be frustrated sometimes, but that's the passion that he has for the game.
So with the connection with Stephon, I'm just wondering, with him going through something similar, being the guy in Minnesota, then getting traded to Buffalo, is there anything that you kind of learned from that from afar with your situation, Carolina, Chicago?
I seen that he had great numbers, so I was like, shoot, maybe this is a good opportunity. And then, also Christian got traded, so he had a great opportunity to go too.
Well, hey, we appreciate the time. Thanks so much. Good luck the rest of the way.
Hey, thank you.
Is DJ Moore joining us on the Zach Gelb Show on CBS Sports Radio. And what an action-packed show that we had today. Before we get on out of here, just when we look back kind of at that conversation with DJ, I really think the Bears should take Marvin Harrison Jr. or trade that number 1 overall pick and continue to rock and roll with Justin Fields. But I think it's clear, regardless as to what I think, that what I think should happen and what will happen are 2 different conversations. And when you get into the will component of this, I'm not saying I sensed it from DJ Moore, because DJ Moore has been clear that he wants Justin Fields as their quarterback, and he's going to continue to support and rock with Justin Fields as their quarterback until something happens. But you just kind of get the sense that even though DJ Moore may want something to happen, or I think something should happen, that the Bears have kind of already made that decision. And I don't think it behooves them to announce what they're going to do right now, because you're trying to get intrigue up there and kind of rile it up to see maybe if someone does make you an offer that you can't refuse. And there's already been reported a bunch of offers that have been made for the number 1 overall pick. But at the end of the day, I don't think that we are going to see the number 1 pick come and go, and it's not going to be Caleb Williams going to Chicago. And then once that domino falls, as we've seen in years past, kind of like with the Cardinals situation and other situations as well, once you make the selection on the quarterback, then you trade your current quarterback. And that's what I think is going to end up happening with the Bears, where you will take Caleb Williams with the number 1 overall pick, and then from there, you will end up trading Justin Fields, and you could go to the multitude of options and destinations that we could all assume and kind of drum on up on where Justin Fields would be a good fit, because I think Justin Fields is a good quarterback. I don't think he's great, but I think he's good. I don't think he's been put, though, in the best situation for all 3 years with the Chicago Bears. Alrighty, that concludes the Zach Gelb Show on a Thursday from Radio Row. We're coming on back tomorrow with the jam-packed action show from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern, noon to 3 p.m. Pacific. Big thanks today to Puka Nacua, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan with the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge that we did with them on the 10-year anniversary. You can check it out on social media at Zach Gelb on Instagram and Twitter, ZACHGELB. Big thanks to Luke Kuechly, Joe Montana, Michael Penix Jr., CJ Stroud, Austin Ekeler, and DJ Moore. We'll do it again tomorrow, final day on Radio Row inside the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. Big thanks to everyone here on site. Big thanks to everyone back in our New York City studios, and each and every one of you for listening to the show. We out. Bye-bye, everybody. Peace.
You're in a